conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Thank God for another beautiful day. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful show, and Montgomery needs a new mayor. Troy Carrico should be joining us a little later in the program, as should Alan Mendenhall should be here, or at least on the stream at 1 o'clock for his regular visit. And then I believe we have Hampton Harris, a candidate for Congress. He's running for that Republican nomination, just like all the other folks we've been interviewing. And, of course, Hampton was here before the whole switcheroo with the courts deciding about the districts. So look forward to talking to Hampton Harris once again. Now, what was on my mind over the weekend, and really this is just me trying to figure out why I reacted in a certain way. Reacted to what? Well, you know, this journey back to my childhood faith, this journey back to the literal church I grew up in, not just the church, the one holy apostolic, Catholic Church, which I'm referring to the Apostles' Creed there, not just the Roman Catholic Church. But I mean like the literal building I grew up in. And I admit, I guess I'm making up for lost time in my fervor and my habits at the moment. But one thing I am finding is that it's like you've been away from home for a long time. If that makes any sense. You've probably had those moments in life where it could be home or it could just be a place you spent a lot of time in. And maybe it was this place you spent a lot of time in as a child. And you've been gone 10, 20 years. And when you come back, you're like, well, it's good to be back. I've been away too long. I should be here. But then you start to realize so much has changed. And maybe your impression when you left 20 years ago was wrong. Maybe you were just mistaken, especially if you had the eyes of a child. But sometimes that is the reality. When you come back home, you wonder, well, where's the tire swing? Where's the backyard fort? Where's the old oak tree? Where's Grandpa? He ain't here. And you wonder, well, where's so-and-so? Oh, they moved out of town. And it's these little things that you're like, well, it's good to be back home, but home ain't the same. And deeper than that, you see this, I think, with folks, I'd love to talk to Carrico about it, who come back from war. I think this was most beautifully put by veterans of the First World War, in particular, J.R.R. Tolkien, the author of Lord of the Rings, that sometimes people go through things and they're away from home for so long and they go through such trials that they can never truly come back home. Now, that might be true of a place, like a literal hometown, that certain experience change you to where home is never quite the same. But I think it's always true that you can come back home to God. And so, again, what I'm about to read here, I was more just reacting and thus writing about my reaction, which was an emotional one, I admit, about how, well, home, the church has changed. Or maybe my expectations were too high when I left. I almost took it for granted that it would always be solid as a rock. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am there among them. Of course, that is from Matthew 18:20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am there among them. Though it may be heresy in America's secular and civic tradition, the kingdom of God is not a democracy. And thank God for it. Yet we in America still seem to treat God's sovereignty like a democracy. Or perhaps it's that we treat democracy as a god. We act as if God's kingdom is to be subject to a vote, weighed and measured by the people's wish and whim. Yet in the end, it is we who are weighed and measured by Him, no matter the shifting winds of opinion. That said, if God were on the ballot, I suspect less than a majority of Americans would gather together in His name. Even in the Bible Belt, even Bible Belt, Alabama, I bet the majority who say they believe would most likely cast their votes absentee. What a tragedy. We say we believe, then pretend our mere words fulfill our duties to Him. And with our salvation supposedly secured by this bare thread, our actions soon contradict what we've said, as we fail to gather together for our daily bread. Faith is more than a vote. Faith is more than what you say you believe. Faith is more than an individual liberty or a private matter of taste. Faith is more than the minimum duty to attain the salvation you hope to gain. God's position in His heavenly seat is secure no matter the clever things we do or say, or the wagers we may try to make. Forgive me, I was lost for so long that now having returned, I find it hard, difficult, to recognize my Father's home. Have this many fallen from the fold? Have this many still remaining become so lukewarm, cold, and turned to stone? What has become of the Holy Catholic Church we speak of every morning in the Apostles' Creed? What has become of American Christianity? I say all this because I recently ran across the Pew Research Center's 2023 to 24 Religious Landscape Study, and my heart sank, particularly as I read about my home state. Though the top line says Alabama is ranked 8th in the nation in religious fervor and belief, that old Jewish punchline of "compared to what" rang in my ears as I read the details of what it takes to be one of America's top 10 religious teams. 40% in Alabama are highly religious, based on an overall scale of religiousness, says Pew. Only 40%. So not quite a majority. I guess if it was an election, God would lose. But what does highly religious mean, according to Pew Research Center? Well, according to Pew, 51% of Alabamians say religion is very important in their lives. Not bad. 44% say they attend religious services at least monthly. 50% say they pray daily. 66% say they believe in God or universal spirit, whatever that means, with absolute certainty, while 73% of Alabamians say they are Christian. Let me get this straight. 2/3 of the population here in Alabama say they believe with absolute certainty. Yet that certainty is only absolute enough that half the population finds it very important to their lives. And though half the population prays each day, religion is only very important enough for less than half to attend religious services at least monthly. That number then drops to 34% for those who attend church weekly. So we've gone from 2/3 to 1/3. And Pew didn't even bother asking how many people attend church daily. Because what? There's only 6% of Catholics in Alabama. And of that 6%, I think there's a few hundred of us. So much for give us this day our daily bread. Again, forgive me. I have only just found my way back to my Father's house after decades astray. And I'm the last man to harangue anyone or to stand in judgment and lecture anyone on how they should pray or how often they should gather to celebrate another day. It's just I'm heartbroken over the chasm between what men fail to do despite all men have to say. And I suppose I see my own depraved failures in the mirror of our society's religious decay. I can only speak for myself. But when I finally came to believe I knew faith would make demands of me more than I could demand anything of belief. I knew faith would ask more than I alone could ever ask of me. I knew faith wasn't just another opinion, proposition, wager, or worldly political contest to be won. I knew faith was to accept as my king, God's only begotten Son. The kingdom of God is not a democracy, and thank God for that. It's not a democracy where people have their unbridled say. But it's a place where Jesus Christ is Lord alone and commands his people to obey. Yet if we truly believed that the King of Kings is present when 2 or 3 are gathered together in his name, we truly believe that, wouldn't we gather together to be counted as his children in census each and every day? Now, again, maybe I expect too much. Maybe the way I lost my faith in the first place from my childhood was me taking for granted that it was always ascendant. Now, I always knew not everybody was Catholic, but it always seemed like, well, the majority of Alabama's Christian. Alabama's a Christian state. It's one of the most, we don't know about those funny people up to funny business out in California and New York City and stuff. A lot of cradle Catholics in New York who never go to Mass. But I think I took it for granted that, especially a place like Alabama, well, this is a place of deep faith. I mean, just look at our politics and look at, there's a sign on the side of the interstate that says, go to church or the devil will get you. Well, more than half the population's like, I guess the devil's going to get me. And that's what I never saw the number. And it, I guess, added an extra sting or a little prick in the sense of, Alabama is ranked 8th as the most religious state, where you see that and go, we're doing great. We're doing great. But it's like, is that really a feather in our cap that we're not as bad as California or Western Europe? And so, maybe I expect too much. But it is kind of like coming back home and I'm like, where is everybody? Where's the tire swing? Where's the fort? Where did Grandpa died? Like, so-and-so moved? Like, where is everybody? Hey, let's play that game we used to play. Yeah, kid, we're tired of that game. Like, that was kind of the emotion. And again, maybe I'm the one in the wrong here, but we can always hope and pray for more participation going forward. How you doing today, Troy?
I'm outstanding. I came in on the tail end of your thoughts, and a couple things come apparent to me. Number one, Robin has this saying, and I finally understood. And when you said it, it kind of just, it clicked with me. When we leave and we come back to somewhere, if we leave for a period of time, we come back, we still have these preconceptions of how things are and were. Like, your friends or your nieces never really grew up, and maybe it's been 6 years, and now all of a sudden it's like, wow, you're in school already, and it's like, and I think, Joey, it's easy for us as humans to try to attach some sort of temporal time lock on things, but I don't think you're wrong at all. And I think, you talked about go to church or the devil will get you. You said maybe 40% of the people said, well, he's got me then. I don't even think 40% believe in him. I don't even think they think he's real. This
study says 44% say they attend religious services monthly.
Okay.
Which even me, I'm like, if you really believe, wouldn't you want to do that more than once a month?
Well, you kind of tip that, you kind of blow the curve, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going every day.
Well, Pew didn't even ask about every day.
Really?
Right.
That wasn't even on the radar.
Not even 34% go to church weekly, but here's what happens. It's fascinating. 73% say we're Christian, which is way down, by the way. It used to be 87% a decade ago here in Alabama. 66% say they believe in God with absolute certainty. See, that's 2/3. But you ask, okay, how often do you go to church? And it gets down to 1/3 when you ask if it's weekly. And it's just, again, there's a chasm between what people say and do. And again, like I just said, I think it pangs me because it reminds me of how long I was away and how much has changed. But it is shocking because I was away and I didn't care. I never looked at stuff like this.
Sure.
I never looked at the trend.
We're tracking,
And to see, like, now that I'm back and like, oh my goodness, what happened? What's happened? We got to do better. But, also, I'm not naive to there have been much worse times in the history of the church. And I mean that in the most general sense possible. Think the Apostles' Creed. Yeah, I mean, think about, we have billions of Christians now.
Yep.
Compared to how many were in the upper room when the Holy Spirit descended? How many dark days were there? I mean, when the Islamic hordes were
sacking Jerusalem.
Yeah, rooting us out of, the birthplace of Christianity. Or like when all the different heresies seemed to have ascendancy, like they were going to win out. Well, we don't really need the God of the Old Testament. We can just have the New. And it's like, well, that makes no sense.
That is the same God.
Yeah, and also all the stuff Jesus says and does makes no sense unless you understand what was revealed in the Old Testament.
And you know what's beautiful about the Old Testament? We kind of do little informal Bible studies, me and my neighbor Shane. And if you go back and you really read in Isaiah and you read in a lot of the prophecies, Jesus has been throughout the Bible the whole time.
Yeah.
People don't understand that it transcends. There is a totality in it that transcends just the New Testament or the New Covenant.
Absolutely.
And people, when you go back, because people go, well, we're not a church of the Old Testament. Well, you better be.
Well, and I think
better be.
I think most powerfully, Jesus says, "I'm the bread of life," which he literally says the bread from him, the manna.
That's right. That fell
the
from
desert. And then also he says he's the Lamb. Now I don't think he says that himself, but John
does. Yeah.
Says he's the Lamb of God. So he is the Paschal Lamb of the Passover.
That's right.
But also you see like the high priest of Salem that never died, Melchizedek. I always say that wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But he offers, I believe, Abraham bread and wine.
Yep.
You see all these typologies, I guess what it's called, and like prefigurings of what would come in the new, and in particular, how many ways Christ is prefigured as priest, prophet, and king.
Mm-hmm.
So you can think of the great prophets, especially say like Moses, but then you could also think of a King David.
Sure.
And you could also think of Melchizedek, the high priest, or the high priest that needs to go into the holiest holies on the Day of Atonement.
That's right.
And Jesus fulfills all three of those roles, along with many other things. And, the early church fathers were really big into this. So, things that, say the average bear, even if you're reading the Bible a lot, going to church a lot, may not catch on to, and it's more just fascinating to think of. Like, I can't remember the name of the church father, but he connects the crown of thorns to the burning bush. In the sense that the larger point is that Jesus takes essentially the weight of Egypt, of this world, and of the thorns of this world, and literally has to carry them in order to transform it. But, you see a lot of these ties, and I think it's fascinating. In one way, it's often considered like a foreshadowing or prefiguring.
Sure.
Like this was a type that would eventually be fulfilled in Christ. But let's get a little heady here. If God is outside of time, if he destined us in love before he laid the foundations of the world, and that very world was created by the Word, which is Jesus is the Christ.
It is.
I almost like to think of it as the Jesus entering time and history. That's maybe not like first in the chronological timeline that we all live in, but it's first among meaning. His incarnation, his suffering, his death, his resurrection, his entering into the holiest of holies, truly of heaven. That full thing is actually the governing force of reality itself that makes everything new. And so if you think of it that way, I almost think of it as like all these prefigurings are almost like ripples from the very source of creation itself. This is why it shows up. And even why, as St. Justin Martyr talks about, seeds of the word. So he sees like a lot of very Christian and understanding and truth in the Greek philosophers.
Sure.
And you can see it in different like lessons from different cultures where you're like, well, that's the golden rule. And so why would stuff show up? Well, it's because the God of the universe created everything.
Right.
And it's not like we can completely miss it.
Well, Jesus says it best. I am the Alpha and the Omega. I am the beginning and the end. I am infinity.
Amen. So I don't know. It's maybe I'm just have the fervor of a reaver.
You do. I think seminaries in your future somewhere.
I don't know about that.
I think you'd make a great priest.
But I also wonder sometimes, the old joke that it's the only people that really take it seriously are like the town pastor and the town atheist.
The town atheist.
No, seriously. Like,
you're right. You're right.
Like, and I can't remember this old story, but it was think of a Jewish township, and so it's the town atheist and the town rabbi are the only two people that take religion seriously. And somebody goes, no, there's another guy, and they look up on the walls of the township, and it's a guy just sitting there looking out of the horizon. And so you go up and go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Why are you sitting there?" "Well, they pay me to sit here." Like, for what? He goes, "Well, I look out, and if the Messiah's coming, I ring this bell." And they're like, "How is it?" "Well, steady work." So, maybe the people that get paid by this whole thing also,
I always
have some interest in it.
When you bring up atheists, I always joke. I said, I don't think I've ever met an atheist on his deathbed. You better take that chance.
I think there are probably a few.
No, there are. Just being facetious, but I'm saying it's funny how when we're invincible and we're young, we think that nothing guides us to that. I think as you get older, if you've got a half a brain, you really quickly figure out that you better get your program in place. So,
but anyway, that's where my head was at, and just the underlying point you missed at the very beginning: the kingdom of God is not a democracy.
No,
and that's another aspect to this.
I like that.
That's another aspect of this we haven't touched on. I think we really are, and it's not just democracy like voting, but we cover everything with public opinion polls.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, sometimes I've even asked public opinion polls about, will President Reagan's surgery be a success? Like, who cares? The public doesn't know whether or not a certain medical procedure will be. Like, why are we even asking that question? But there does seem to be this, like, almost magical thinking to what public opinion has to say. And because it is, and what democracy in its purest form is vox populi, vox dei, the will of the people is the voice of the people is the voice of God. And it's like, well, maybe that's not always healthy, especially in matters of faith, to where folks kind of want, getting beyond the political realm, it's like you go to a supermarket and you don't have to buy the whole store. You can just pick out what you want.
A la carte.
Yeah, or it's like just my opinion, man.
Well, what did Franklin say?
Like, nothing's actually true, dude. Well, it's just, you got your truth and I got my truth, and I'm not trying to force my truth on your truth, and so
nothing gets done then.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, when Franklin came out of the convention hall, the guy asked him, "What kind of government did we get?" He goes, "A democracy, if you can keep it."
Or a republic.
A republic. But you have when he asked about a democracy, he said, "If you can keep it." So the republic,
Yeah, and I guess another way to put it is the hyper-individualism of America, which I've always loved and adored. And I think there are certain people that are really amazing individuals, don't get me wrong. But there's not everybody's going to be some amazing creator or artist or industrialist or whatever.
Influencer, whatever
like,
that is.
There are still, like, I don't know. There are people that are really good at what they do and they're very talented, and you're like, all respect to them for their talents. But then for the average bear and less than average, and even talented folks who just can't quite figure it out, the kind of pose of individualism always seems to go into, like, conformity, doesn't it?
Almost always.
And groupthink.
Almost
and the
always.
latest fads.
Almost always, yeah.
It's fascinating how that works. Like, essentially, people end up worshiping something. And there are some who really just worship themselves, and they end up odd. But
the military is the ultimate proof that individualism has to give way to a group think, and that's the way it is. So it happens. I think that it's the same thing with we bemoan. We had this great guy, he ran for Congress and he had these great ideas, and then he got sucked into the machine. Listen, it's pressure is constant, and
Kevin is organized much more like a command and control military.
Absolutely. This is a
long-term republic or democratic government, like all the choirs of angels.
You follow the orders, you do what you're told.
Right. But anyway, it's been on my mind, and I guess my basic prayer and hope is that more people get together more often in his name. And, You can always join me at Daily Mass if you want to.
I'm going to come join you one time. And I'll say this to you. Right now, we're two or more gathered in his name. I think we're gathered in his name. You know, Joey, I think, and I know you do yourself, I think we should pray together before we go on the air.
I already do.
No, I said, did you hear what I said? It's not just about you. It's about me, too.
Yeah.
Do you care about your brother?
Yeah.
Then good. Then we're going to start praying together.
Okay.
You can do your Latin. I'll do my English.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can come together.
Yeah, we can.
Look, I got your Knights of Sebast on, buddy.
Nice.
I love suiting up. I feel when I put my 9 on and I put this on, I'm like, I'm invincible. Ghost Rider.
This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and their Pest Pro Ashley and that great team are ready to help you out with any and all of your pest control needs. It could be you're just looking for a great local company because you've been getting surprised kind of sticker shock on some of the bills you've been getting from the company you've been using for a while, or maybe the job, like you keep seeing a bunch of stuff coming up. Well, call it Pest Pro. They have been growing leaps and bounds since they started up 5-6 years ago, and that's just a great example, a proof even of their success is proof of how good they are at what they do. And so they have this monthly subscription, basic pest control package, allows you to control pests, but also control the cost of pest control throughout the year. And then, of course, you can do add-ons like 'tis the season for mosquitoes. If you're tired of those mosquitoes bothering you, Pest Pro can take care of it. And they'll come just, when it's needed. Or maybe you're worried about termites. You haven't had that inspection done in a while. Or you've got little critters trying to make a home out of your home. All these things Pest Pro can help you with. So check them out today. You can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces or call them 265-9990. That's 265-9990. And be sure to tell them that Joe and Troy, those fellas on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 special. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
What are you getting? Still deciding, but I do know on August 11th, I'm choosing Rhett Marcus for Congress.
Why Rhett Marcus?
Because he's a true conservative, endorsed by President Trump and Senator Katie Britt.
Oh, then you can trust him.
And he's a small business owner, not a politician.
Sounds like this choice on August 11th is the easiest decision we'll ever make.
Remember to vote on August 11th. I'm Rhett Marcus, the Trump-endorsed candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rhett for Alabama.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Oil prices have eased and Wall Street opened sharply higher this morning as the U.S. and Iran paused their attacks on each other. There are hopes for renewed talks to get the ceasefire back on track and potentially end the war. Oil prices sank almost 7%. Shares of Chinese memory chip maker CXMT have soared as the company began trading in Shanghai, in mainland China's biggest IPO in recent years. CXMT, founded 10 years ago, raised at least $8.6 billion with the IPO. It is China's leading memory chip manufacturer, making chips that are used in areas including AI servers and consumer electronics like smartphones. President Trump will talk about the economy and his economic policy when he visits a GM plant today in suburban Detroit. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We'll be watching the radar for that potential midday cluster of storms, but the other big story is the heat, and I'm talking excessive, dangerous heat. We could see upper 90s today, perhaps, and maybe a heat index as high as 106, with the low tonight down to about 77. But tomorrow is potentially hotter, with a high temperature up to about, let's say, 99, and a heat index near 110. Heat advisory in effect Tuesday. More excessive heat on Wednesday. And I think the rain chances Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are very small. Let's say 20% or less. Late week will be not quite as hot, but hot enough. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice, News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm Joey. Troy Carrico here in the studio. And at 1 o'clock, Alan Mendenhall joining us on the stream. And we have Hampton Harris joining us after 2 o'clock. Is he going to be in studio?
I think he's calling in.
Look forward to hearing from Hampton. Of course, he is running for Congress. And that is August the 11th?
The 11th. It is the 11th, yeah. They're expecting the turnout to be, Joey, an abysmal less than 7%, somewhere around 6 to 7% have registered. So if you've ever doubted for a moment in your life that your vote doesn't count, this is one where it would count.
It's actually one of the guys, David Matthews, brought up the point. I think it's good because, I mean, if we're just being honest, the odds-on favorite is going to be Rhett Marcus because he's got the Trump endorsement and the Katie Britt endorsement. But Matthews made a good point. He said with such low turnout, it's very possible you get an upset.
Well, with such low turnout.
Because you just energize a certain number of folks, and it could be Hampton, it could be David, it could be anybody else we haven't even talked to, but like with such low turnout, you don't have to energize too many to make the difference.
Well, the other part of that equation, to your point, you have a broad field. You have 6 different candidates, which is going to cut into certain people's votes down in Wiregrass, we think. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll
be fascinating to watch.
It's going to be very fascinating.
And again, also, the person doesn't need to win an outright majority. They just need to win the most votes, a plurality of the votes. So it's going to be interesting to watch. I look forward to talking to Hampton.
He's been busy.
In 2 o'clock hour. So Trump was busy over the weekend. We were asking each other what we were doing. I was singing in the Latin Mass choir.
I know you
were putting the flamethrower
right.
bush hogging and whatnot, and fixing motors and stuff. But Trump apparently did the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Remember how they had to cancel it because somebody tried to kill him?
Yeah, the shooting, or the would-be shooter.
Yeah. Well, before he went to that, though.
Yeah.
Because this is kind of a classic bro debate, though I'm not as big into sports these days. But who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron? And somebody, right before he went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, asked Trump about that. So let's listen into the president's answer.
That's what it is.
Well, Michael Jordan's a guy that's a friend of mine. Play golf with him. He's a really good guy. And I think LeBron is, maybe he's a racist, but maybe he doesn't like Trump. I don't know. But I only like people that like me. So I would say Michael Jordan all the way.
You know you're always going to get the unfiltered truth out of him. Yeah. Maybe he's a racist.
Maybe he's a racist. Maybe he just doesn't like me. It's like, maybe. Yeah, maybe that, maybe this.
That's great.
So anyway, Trump got to White House Correspondents' Dinner. And it is always weird.
It is.
Like these folks that gore him and lie about him, and he gores them back and says nasty things back to him, that they get all chummy in the room, though Trump, as he has been known to do now at these sorts of events, when it was his time to be at the mic, he did not hold back. But this first one is him more making light of the fact that he almost got shot and killed or somebody tried to take him down.
Right.
At the first attempt at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Let's listen in.
But after hearing the gunshots, many people yelled, get down, which caused Nicki Minaj to start twerking. Do you believe it? Get down.
I love it.
She's the only one that really understood what that meant.
You're like, really? He just said, he made a Nicki Minaj twerking joke about the assassination. All right.
Good deal.
I guess we're off to a good start. And then he took a stab at some of his own friends and stuff, as is needed from time to time. Especially if you're doing a roast. You got to roast your buddies the hardest.
You have to.
But here is Trump, talking about the meat they were serving.
Got to enjoy their entire, very delicious beef tenderloins, very special beef. And I want you all to know that Bobby Kennedy, who's right here, personally ran over the cow in his car. And he cut it up and he brought it here for you to eat tonight. So it's very fresh. And Bobby also suggested an appetizer featuring his favorite cut of male raccoon roadkill. But we drew the line at that, Cheryl. We said, no, we're not going to do that.
Cheryl, I love Cheryl.
We're not doing that. We love Bobby. I'll tell you, it is a piece of work. You think it is fun, but he is a very different kind of a person, I will tell you. But he has what it takes, and he's smart, and he loves the country, and he wants people to be made to feel good. You agree with that, Bobby? He wants people to feel good. And he's doing a fantastic job. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you. We can joke all we want, but thank you.
Cheryl Gordon, I love her.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, she plays opposite, with
Larry David.
Yeah, I know.
With
And she
her.
said, I don't know. We don't talk politics, but yeah, I don't think he would probably be a supporter of him, but we don't really go there. So
No, I don't think
she's awesome, man.
Larry David's pretty hardcore lit.
Well, most Jews are for whatever reason, and for whatever reason, they still don't see how they're getting screwed by
That
him.
seems to be changing. I don't know. The question of Israel really is changing the alignment of the
I'm
political
tired of
party.
hearing about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Get with the program.
Now, there's a reporter at CNN who's actually from Prattville,
I did
think
not know that.
And she went to the University of Alabama. Caitlin Collins.
Oh, okay.
She's
an Alabamian. All right. Good.
Yeah. And so Trump has been in a long feud with her, and he decided to make a joke that many of us were making a few years back.
Okay.
But I want to personally congratulate CNN's Caitlin Collins on receiving her award. It was all about me. It's a fake. She shouldn't get the award. It was a fake, but I didn't mind. I said, Caitlin, congratulations. But it was fake. There's no question about it. But she's a young, attractive woman. She never smiles. I said, Caitlin, do you have a smile? Smile. You have a nice position. You're at CNN Fake News. You should be a happy person. So smile, Caitlin. Just smile. But we attack, and I thought Caitlin had really made it big with a major new sponsorship. But then I informed her that it wasn't her on the Bud Light can. It was Dylan Mulvaney. And Dylan Mulvaney cost Bud Light $35 billion in market cap. That was the worst commercial ever made, by the way, for those few people that want to hear that.
Now, that was one of those jokes the internet was loving.
Yeah.
But the room was like, how dare you say that Caitlin Collins looks like Dylan Mulvaney?
Hey,
how dare you?
He says, this is my roast. You enjoy it.
And by the way, Trump doubled down today on Truth Social.
Yeah.
He posted a photo of like the Dylan Mulvaney holding the Bud Light up, but it was Caitlin Collins.
Oh my God.
And he's like, yeah, you almost thought it was still Dylan.
Speaking of disasters for corporations, did you see that the Cracker Barrel girls stepped down?
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally. Now, here, Trump, he keeps going because why not?
Let's go.
Why not?
This is his show.
We'll get to like midterm stuff and serious conversations in a little while, I guess. But here is the president going after, well, I'll just let him speak for himself.
Between California's policies of enabling wildfires, paying drug addicts to be homeless, giving free sex changes to illegals, and telling rich people they're going to take away, all of your money is going to be taken away. People are fleeing, and they're fleeing in droves. We can't have that in this country. It's becoming such a horrible and dangerous location that Ilhan Omar, one of my favorites, and her brother are thinking about moving together, very much in love. A video has surfaced recently of Ilhan giving a speech referring to World War II as World War XI. And they asked her about that. She thought she got it right. But I'm not surprised because she's a low IQ person. And she's also a very dishonest person. And she ought to get the hell out of our country. She shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be in our country. She also calls her brother husband number one. Omar is reportedly being investigated for fraud. She revised her net worth. I was shocked to see that she was worth much more than $30 million. And then when the press got on her, she revised it slightly downward to less than 18,000. So she went from much more than 30 million to 18,000.
Yeah, you know, and you think, and he did make some jokes, but then he also just started to steer right into it.
Oh, yeah.
Right into the skid.
Why change your modus operandi now? Go straight for the juggler.
Right. Why? And then, of course, this last one, he was having way too much fun. And the room was chilly.
Good.
Real chilly.
But remember, this is what the press conference, the press, all them people were against him anyhow, like you said earlier. I mean, what would change?
Of course, what drives the press the craziest, especially the very liberal press? Well,
to announce my intention to, and this is somewhat of a scoop, my intention to run for a fourth term as president of the United States. I will be doing that. I will be having an official. In fact, I think I have. Yeah. I won 3 times. Now I'm going to do it again.
Trump 2028 hat he just put on.
Thank you. I'm going to do it. Should be easy. I'm getting very good at running for president. No, I won 3 times, did very well the second time, by the way. It's a rigged election, but we don't have to talk about it.
He can't help.
He's just letting it go, man.
Yeah. He's relaxed in that setting. Anyway, that happened on Friday night.
Good.
That happened over the weekend. But of course, also over the weekend, we stopped bombing Iran. The United States of America stopped bombing Iran. Like it's been 3 nights in a row where they haven't dropped anything on it.
3, actually. It'll be 3 tonight.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
And we can get into why. Why is that the case? You also have Trump going back and forth with the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, saying, Thune, better not. You got to blow up the filibuster, John.
Yep.
And you better not tell the Senate to go on recess. You got a lot of work to do, especially with the Save America Act. And, well, we'll get into some of the Save America Act politics. Is that actually going to get across the finish line? Also today, Rand Paul drops a bombshell on Fauci, some of Fauci's own private diaries.
Wow.
That just show in real time as he's doing this diary, he was constantly lying. Like constantly lying.
What could possibly go wrong?
For instance, he's like, well, I didn't tell anybody to lock anything down.
Yeah.
That was the CDC, and that was the big, official public health things. In his diary, he literally goes, I convinced so-and-so in New York to lock down all their schools.
Yeah.
And he's just, ooh. And apparently he's going to be in front of Rand Paul's committee on the 29th.
More Kabuki theater.
Well, it should be interesting. He needs to be very, very careful because if he ends up lying there, that pardon doesn't cover lying to Congress.
No, you wouldn't think, but
now.
How he's walking around right now, even walking around, I'm quite shocked. So that somebody would have targeted his grape.
We also have the Democrats panicking, floundering indeed, before the 2026 midterm elections. And in fact, even CNN and NBC are kind of throwing out there, like, number one, the socialism thing is not working for them.
Not at all.
And number two, where's their leadership? Who actually leads that party? That's the problem.
Fractured.
I'm not saying the Republicans keep the House, but this idea of this huge wave election for the Democrats doesn't seem to be materializing. Also, a crazy story in the New York Times today. Secret Service agent charged in near-death black fraternity hazing.
Secret Service agent.
Yeah.
Charged with a death and a black.
A near death.
Okay.
charged in black fraternity hazing case, and apparently what they did for the hazing was left somebody dead. So we can get into the details of that.
Yeah,
It's just a fascinating, like, what?
I'm going to hear about
Like, how did you even get on the Secret Service? Like, anyway. Well, maybe
I can speculate how.
So we have plenty to touch on. And, of course, also Alan Mendenhall joining us here in a little while. We're going to talk about, how a lot of conservative members on the Supreme Court, they're getting older. In fact, they're past the actuarial age.
I know.
And it should make all of us a little nervous about how just one change. I mean, think of all the folks, like, including Ruth Bader Ginsburg herself, thought, I'd be here.
Nope.
And you're gone. And there's
That's
Trump who's getting to replace you with Amy Coney Barrett.
Yeah, which...
Well, a lot of people are mad at her right now, but she's still the heck a lot better than Ruth Bader Ginsburg and very different than Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Concur.
So it's just, but then, imagine Clarence Thomas or something happens to Alito and it's, stranger things happen. AOC's the president. Like, and she replaces Clarence Thomas with, a trans, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, essentially.
Mm.
Like, I don't know.
Robot.
Like, we'll see. It'll be interesting talking to Alan about that. He also has a review of Antonin Scalia, this book on Antonin Scalia, about a decade after Scalia's death.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good stuff. Larger-than-life character. Both Alan and I know Judge Napolitano.
Yeah.
And Judge Knapp was close friends with...
he was a luminary.
With Nino, with Scalia. And so pick his brain on that, as well as some of the other political stuff being kicked around. Anyway, got to hit this break. We'll be right back after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. With over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Hi, this is Brendan with Royal Furniture. A big thank you to Blue Water Broadcasting for helping us launch our Alabama stores in Prattville, Montgomery, Auburn, Gadsden, Athens, Decatur, Oxford, and Florence. We appreciate your hard work and dedication. Here's to a strong partnership and even stronger results. Thanks, Blue Water.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Austin Baranko with Waverly Advisors. Hey, Austin, how you doing?
Oh, Joe, it's a great day. It's our first full day as Waverly Advisors, the first full business day. I've, of course, been working over the weekend with the transition, and it is an exciting time, man. We are pleased to be with this new group, Waverly, and we had our kind of welcome call with the new group, and they've installed all new tech over the weekend. I mean, they work nonstop, new computers, new monitors, new phone system. And so we've really been training this morning on just kind of the new software and technologies that I was telling you about last week in studio. And it is insane in a great way. All the young guys in our office are just like huge sigh of relief. All the systems integrate, Microsoft Teams with our Outlook emails, with Salesforce CRM system, and as an advisor, it's music to our ears that, everything we do is recorded properly and keeps us in line. And it really gives us the ability to serve our clients so much better. So, yeah, it's been like drinking through a fire hose learning, but most of the technology they have is cutting edge. And so once we get acquainted, it is going to be so much easier to help our clients with really sophisticated needs.
Well, and folks, this is a great time if you've not already joined Austin Branco and the whole team there now at Waverly Advisors. Now's a great time to join in with this powerful, powerful new team. And the number's still 387-0094 to call you up.
That's right. The office number's not changing. The location's not changing. It's just that we're getting more resources now. So everything stays the same except for the name. And if you do go to our old website, InvistaAdvisors.com, it still points to the new Waverly website. They've already got our new website up and running for us, which is exciting. So even if clients forget that we changed names, you'll be reminded very swiftly with a quick Google search.
Beautiful. I'm looking at that change right now on my iPad here. Well, I appreciate it, Austin, and we'll talk again soon. Look forward to it, man.
Thank you, Joey. Have a great week.
Again, Austin Branco there with Waverly Advisors. Really cool. We covered that on Friday, and it's quite a step up.
You could tell that the excitement was very evident with Austin that this is a paradigm shift for them. They really have an incredible force structure behind them to be full spectrum in everything they do about finances. So good stuff.
We got to hit this break, and we'll be coming back with Alan Mendenhall for his regular visit.
My Alan.
Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu says New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani is fomenting hate by calling the prime minister a war criminal who should be arrested if he visits the city. Speaking on Sunday on Fox News Channel, Netanyahu said he intends to attend a United Nations General Assembly gathering of world leaders in September. Firefighters in France are preparing for the next phase of the battle against wildfires west of Bordeaux. Those flames already blamed for forcing the evacuation of about 220,000 people. Police search for a second suspect today after a gunfire episode erupted and broke out at the crowded food festival beneath Seattle's Space Needle. That left 3 people dead, 4 others wounded, including a toddler. Mediators have made progress in efforts to bring the U.S. and Iran back to the negotiating table, trying to prevent an all-out war in the Middle East. This is SRN News.
Are you tired of feeling lousy? Maybe you had a scare at your last checkup or just walking hurts? When enough is enough, call PhD Weight Loss. When I had enough 4 years and 53 pounds ago, I knew I couldn't do it alone. I'm Mike Gallagher for PhD Weight Loss. Best phone call I ever made. They were right with me. They still are today. Right now, mention Mike. You'll get 2 free weeks added to the program, and they'll pay for the cost of your food. $1,500 value. Call 864-644-1900, 864-644-1900, or visit myphdweightloss.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Christian Healthcare Ministries is not another health insurance policy. If you're tired of restrictions, CHM offers anytime enrollment on your schedule at half the price of traditional marketplace plans. See why believers across the nation are better with CHM.
Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland.
Win a BMW X7 or your share of $25,000 in free play during Victoryland Casino's BMW and $25,000 free play giveaway. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too.
We'll be watching the radar for that potential midday cluster of storms, but the other big story is the heat, and I'm talking excessive, dangerous heat. We could see upper 90s today, perhaps, and maybe a heat index as high as 106, with the low tonight down to about 77. But tomorrow is potentially hotter, with a high temperature up to about, let's say, 99, and a heat index near 110. Heat advisory in effect Tuesday. More excessive heat on Wednesday. And I think the rain chances Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are very small. I'd say 20% or less. Late week will be not quite as hot, but hot enough. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories.
Montgomery police are investigating a shooting that left a man dead Sunday afternoon. Officers responded to the 4200 block of Amherst Drive just after 4 p.m. where a man was found with a fatal gunshot wound. The unidentified victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Police have provided no further details. A new Alabama law set to take effect October 1st increases the penalties for leaving the scene of an accident. Hit and run will be elevated to a Class B felony carrying a minimum sentence of 2 years and up to 20 years in prison. A hit and run conviction can also result in tens of thousands of dollars in fines. Legendary Motown R&B group the Commodores have been booked to perform at the Alabama National Fair in Montgomery. The Commodores will take the stage at Garrett Coliseum Saturday, October 10th. The show begins at 7 p.m. and is included with fair admission. The Commodores were formed at Tuskegee Institute in 1968. They were later discovered by Motown founder Berry Gordy and rose to international fame. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
You want your floors to scream new, fresh, and stylish. But if yours are groaning, tired, old, and outdated, you're in luck. Because at Prattville Carpet, you can revitalize your floors while you save on the best brands available with perfect and professional installation and Prattville's unbeatable lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Start shopping for your floors right now at PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Oh, I look up at my TV in the studio. What do I see? I see AOC she's talking with her hands. She's got the sunglasses on, baby. Like she's walking in the sun just in her element. Like, girl, baby, girl.
She's hit the gym.
But here's the thing. She could be president. No, I know everybody laughs.
You could be president.
But I think this whole it'll be J.D. Vance and then it'll be Rubin. It'll be Trump in 2028. Yeah. It will forever be Republicans that win national elections. And I don't think it just ain't so as much as I might hope for it. But then I might start not liking the Republicans very much, kind of like how you just don't like the Yankees.
Well, yeah, you're right. The Yankees.
But this is the thing. I think there are a lot of folks who just don't like who's in charge. And I bring this all up because, joining us now for his regular bi-weekly visit, we have Alan Mendenhall. Alan, how are you, sir?
I'm good. It's funny that you would begin with sunglasses because in an attempt to be as cool as you two, I actually brought some of my own.
Yeah. Now, for the record, Alan, these are UV filtering for my computer screens, but I still think I'm cool in them. So I'm glad you joined us, guy. All right.
Okay, let's do the whole interview this way. But
I don't know that I can actually see what these things are.
yeah, likewise. I got to monitor stuff. So with I bring up the AOC thing, and as much as the Democrats look like they're floundering before the midterms, it's not guaranteed. Like, who knows? And you bring up a great point this week at 1819 News about, well, how the two Supreme Court justices that many conservatives love, they ain't getting younger. And this could be a big issue.
Yeah. Well, of course, Alito and Thomas are favorites if you're conservative, and Thomas is 78 and Alito is 76, and the average lifespan of a male in the United States is 76. So they're both on the other side of that line. And you know, I don't know what to do. They're pretty much irreplaceable. And we've seen from several other picks, including Trump's picks of Gorsuch and Kavanaugh and Barrett, that you're still just not going to be able to get an Alito or a Thomas, even when you get some good justices. Now, if you look at somebody like Barrett replaced Ginsburg. So people complain about Barrett, but if you compare her to Ginsburg and see what you're getting in terms of outcomes, it's a much different scenario. But the federal judiciary in general is old. I mean, the average age of the federal judges is 68. It's 65 for senators and 58 for members of the House. So, you know, these federal judges, not just the Supreme Court justices, but these federal judges in general are getting up there. They enjoy life tenure. The phrase that you have your position for good behavior has been interpreted to mean you have your position for life. And I don't know. I just get nervous because I get nervous that we would have a different Democratic president. Maybe it's a President AOC or President Gavin Newsom or whoever it is in 2029. And who would replace someone like Thomas Alito? I don't know. It's terrifying to think about.
Well, and there's a good history, well, good or bad, depending, I guess, on your perspective, but there's a long history of justices that do hold on too long, or they tend to reward the party you wouldn't think they wanted to reward. So you get these major shifts in where the court's going to go.
Yeah. And I mean, I think Ginsburg's the most obvious example of that. And if you were a Democrat and Ginsburg died during Trump's first term, you were probably pretty panicked. And it was no wonder that they were up in arms over Amy Coney Barrett's nomination, but they sort of blew all credibility with Kavanaugh. I mean, when we looked at the different judges that were being considered for that seat and Trump picked Kavanaugh, I thought, oh my goodness, he picked the squishiest of them all. And yet the Democrats went no holds barred on Kavanaugh and sort of ridiculous. I think they actually drew their playbook from what they had done to Roy Moore during the Senate race. And they thought, well, let's see if it'll work again. But they blew all their credibility protesting what was essentially the most moderate person Trump could have nominated. And so Barrett just sailed right through. But it's just a nerve-wracking time in a lot of ways. There are just so many things going on. But with the Supreme Court shifting our jurisprudence to the right in ways that are really, really important. When I say to the right, they're really just shifting it to a neutral position. They're shifting it to neutral methodology. It's just that we've had sort of embedded in the law a conservative disposition. The law is kind of naturally conservative as it is because it doesn't change easily, and it ought to change only through the legislative branches because that's where the people have their representation, and that's what originalism teaches. And actually, originalism is pretty much inherently democratic in the sense that you don't want unelected federal judges changing laws that people enact. When I go vote and I get my representative in office and I agitate for a law to be something or other, and the bill becomes law and I'm all happy, I want that thing to be law for as long as it can be law. I don't want just tinkering with it. It ought to be the legislature's role to change the law. Now, if something's blatantly unconstitutional, that's one thing, you know, the Supreme Court or federal judge can strike it down, but making new law is not the role of the judiciary.
Right. And I believe you also bring up in this, this piece, this essay I'm looking at, that it's not just, and I've long been on this with, excuse me, pardon me, I've been saying we could exhume George Wallace and his old bones would have more activity in the governor's office right now than what we currently got. That's true. But we saw it with Biden, and we're still seeing it now, with the very untimely death of Lindsey Graham at only 71, and Mitch McConnell constantly just missing in action. This just, and Susan Collins of Maine running again. Like, there's so many examples of, like, it makes me want to just say, God bless Richard Shelby for getting out of the way.
I guess there are 4 toss-up seats, I think, that are in play for the Senate, and that could just swing the balance, especially if you do have somebody sort of squishy middle there on a nominee. So if the disposition of the Senate were to change after this midterm, and then the Republicans have just the narrowest of narrow majority, or worse yet, they lose it, and then Trump tries to get someone through and can't, we're in big trouble. So it's like, oh gosh, do you encourage these justices to retire while there's still a majority? I don't know. It's probably too late at this point, given how close we are to the midterms. But
yeah,
I'm just so nervous.
Do you think it shouldn't happen officially? Never should. It would be improper to, find a justice at some dinner somewhere and be like, when are you retiring, man? But do you think that does happen?
I'm sure somebody says it. I mean, I'm sure in the closest circles of friends, they say it. Now, if you gave me dinner with Scalia and Alito and we sat to, I'm probably not going to bring it up. Probably not going to bring it up. But I'm sure their close friends and family bring it up, or they bring it up to their friends and family. But it doesn't get out to the media that way. And that's a good thing. I think Nina Totenberg reporting on Alito's retirement was ridiculous, because Nina Totenberg is, first of all, she's terrible. She is like one of the worst Supreme Court reporters ever. So for her to sort of arrogantly presume she had this inside information and then for NPR to run with it made me think, wow, I'm really glad we're not paying for this anymore. Glad we're defunding NPR, because it's just ridiculous. And these national NPR reporters, Steve Inskeep, Nina Totenberg, they get paid so much, it's outrageous.
Now, you also last week wrote about the late, great Justice Antonin Scalia. And I've heard on the radio and all over, say, Bourbon, some great stories from our mutual friend, Judge Napolitano, about what a man this was. And it's got me thinking, of course, I would love to hear what your take is of this new book that James Rosen has out on Scalia. But in general, how much the personality and the dynamics of the court is, we often think in ideological terms or who appointed whom in terms of the parties. But I think sometimes these personal relationships and just the force of personality shapes the law more than we might suspect.
Yeah, I thought the book was really good at capturing Scalia's personality. The author, Rosen, you just mentioned him, had known Scalia not particularly well, not like Judge Napolitano. There's a particularly funny episode in the book of Judge Napolitano and Scalia arguing over pizza, because they're both these Italian guys with very strong opinions who are very vocal, and they are arguing over the quality of pizza. And I just love that scene. And actually, Judge Napolitano falls into Molly Hemingway's latest biography of Alito, too. So Judge Knapp's getting some shout outs here in these bios. He knew these justices well and is a great person himself. And I really am grateful for his friendship. But yeah, Scalia's personality is larger than life. And his friendship with Ginsburg is improbable. I mean, they were close friends despite the fact they had very different views about the law and about politics, and they both loved opera and bonded over stuff like that, and they traveled together. There's this famous picture of them riding an elephant together, which is somewhat ridiculous. But yeah, I the other thing that I thought was interesting about the biography is some of the misfires early in Scalia's career when it came to wanting to bond with some of the other justices on the court who are older. And they didn't really like Scalia when he was young, and they thought he was just this kind of haughty young go-getter. And, they had this Federalist Society hit list where they outlined the clerks and said, gosh, we make sure these clerks are, if they're Federalist Society, that we've got them on our radar because they're on the bad list. Pretty shocking stuff.
And I know you have participated in the Federal Society for so long. I almost wonder with this whole, when you look back at the achievements, number one, of the Federal Society, especially with the makeup of the current court, and hopefully how much it can play a role, because it did used to be like it was a bad word in, say, Washington, D.C. circles, right? Especially around the old court.
Yeah, it's so funny. We talk about the Overton window shifting, but I remember when I was first involved with the Federal Society. So I started the chapter at my law school. I don't know if it had gone defunct or if I was the first person to found it. I can't remember those details. But then when I moved to Montgomery and I was working for Chief Justice Roy Moore, and the Montgomery chapter had gone defunct. And so I thought, well, I'll revive that one as well. And it was famously created by Jack Park and Bill Pryor when Bill Pryor was Attorney General. So it was a prestigious chapter, and we revived it and started running luncheons every month. I just stepped down after 13 years in June, and my friend Matt Clark took over. But when I first started walking around in Federal Society circles, you weren't supposed to put it on your resume because people might blacklist you, or they might think you are some conspiracy person, part of this right-wing conspiracy. And people were always talking about the Federal Society in these very negative ways. Now, the Federal Society is considered kind of moderate, like by a lot of reporters, and the commentariat that used to treat the Federal Society as this vast right-wing conspiracy now thinks of the Federal Society as being, well, they're pretty moderate. There are a lot of academic types and people that read books, and that's not so scary anymore. But I find it interesting. I know there was a sort of a notorious falling out between President Trump and Leonard Leo, at least rhetorically, last year. But by the same token, President Trump's nominations and his key picks for the federal judiciary up and down from district to circuit have been mostly drawn from Federal Society circles. And that's because over time, people got less ashamed of being a member of the Federal Society and realized this is really a constructive network. This is something that's helpful to be a part of. You learn the different policy and legal debates. You get involved in your local chapter or in practice groups. You have faculty advisors. You have student chapters. And so it's really an intellectual movement more than anything. It does not take positions. And that's why whenever it has panels at its National Lawyers Convention or even at local chapter movements, when it has panels, they always put a voice that is oppositional. They always going to include one left-wing voice on a panel. And I think that's important because debate is central to who the Federal Society is and what it is. And debate is really central to what our republic has been about as well.
Now, something you mentioned earlier, like with the Trump picks that to fill the court, a lot of them haven't been as conservative as we thought. Why do you think that keeps happening? Is that maybe just Trump's made mistakes, or for some reason, for instance, the Brett Kavanaughs of the world always just end up on the top of the pile? If you're the establishment guy, you tend to be rewarded.
Yeah, I suspect that will change if Trump were to get a new nominee right now. Let's say if Thomas were to retire today, I think you might see somebody slightly different in profile. But historically, in order to get any votes from the moderates or any Democrats, you had to have pretty much an impeccable pedigree, and you had to have those Ivy League boxes checked, and you had to have clerked for the best federal judges and have written for the Law Review and things like that, which I'm not sure would be the case today. I mean, Justice Thomas famously hires people from non-Ivy League schools, and I think that's great. He hires the clerks he thinks are the best, not necessarily the clerks that just have the right resume or whatever. And it's, to me, impossible to imagine a confirmation like Scalia's. We talked about Scalia a minute ago. He was confirmed 98-0.
Right.
So unanimous. And part of that was because the Bork hearings were so tumultuous and there was a bad taste in people's mouth. And I think a lot of people in the Senate just said, let's do something and get along. But also, Scalia wasn't very controversial when he came in. He was this University of Chicago law professor, a former University of Virginia law professor. He had been general counsel of the Office of Telecommunications Policy under Richard Nixon. And it's like, wow, what does that office even do? Like, so people just weren't that up in arms about Scalia. But now it doesn't really matter who the nominee would be. If President Trump were to nominate this person, or if any Republican, frankly, were to nominate this person, the left would act as if it would be a fight to the death. And quite frankly, if it were the other way around and a Democrat were to do the same, I think it would be treated the same way. And it's because this bifurcation between left and right has become more pronounced. We're seeing the DSA take over the Democratic Party. Marxism and communism and socialism are becoming mainstream. And so I really believe that the left, it's not the right, I think, that has radicalized or gotten more right. I mean, if you just look at a chart that shows the growth of the federal government over time since like the 1960s, it's irrefutably growing. I mean, there's nothing, it's just massive growth. And then you look at the national debt, we're almost at $40 trillion. And you look at all the, even the social conservative, check the box, whatever category you want to check, it's clearly a movement to the left. And now that we have socialism and communism on the table among Democrats, I don't really know what to say other than, politics is going to get uglier.
Do you think they'll actually, I guess we can end on this, do you think they will actually take over, like in the way Trump reshaped the Republican Party, or is this just the label of socialism so toxic to the average American they aren't even going to touch it?
Well, I think in certain jurisdictions, they may be able to take over. So in your New Yorks, in some of your blue states, I'm reminded in graduate school studying Louis Althusser as a French communist. And he had this notion of ideological state apparatuses. And that was like the media, political parties, schools, hospitals, trade institutions, religious institutions, you name it, all the systems, all the institutions. And in his view, these things were what led to hegemony. They institutionalized whatever prevented the working class from taking over the capitalists. And so they wanted to capture these. And over decades of planning and strategizing, the left sought to take over the elite institutions. The long march to the institutions was a real thing, and it was a blueprint. You could go out and read it. It wasn't like it was hidden. And they successfully captured a lot of institutions. The Smithsonian Institution is one example. It's got a lot of residual Marxism in the exhibitions. And so do I think they can take over the Democratic Party? Yeah, I think they've been trying to do it for 50 years.
Right. Yeah. It's just going to be fascinating to watch because they do seem rudderless or leaderless.
Yes.
And that vacuum is ugly right now. And where it should be, because it's not like Trump and the Republicans have the greatest marks ever, especially with this war, just kind of just grinding on and grinding on. I don't know. What a weird time. It seems like the nation's just exhausted with all this.
It does. And as the bifurcation, as I say, gets more pronounced, not just between right and left, but between red states and blue states, I'm looking at the happiness going on in red states. I'm looking at the economic prosperity in red states. I'm looking at the football programs in red states, and I'm putting these back on because I'm ready for this bifurcation. We're going to dominate these. We're going to have some red state domination.
Folks, the future looks bright. It does.
That's why we wear sunglasses. That's why we wear our sunglasses,
Yeah.
Well, Alan, I always appreciate your time. If folks want to follow you, check out your work, how can they do so?
Probably just go to my website at www.alanmendenhall.com. I threw the www. Back in there, Joey.
It's all good. I like a classic. Well, appreciate you, Alan.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Alan.
Again, folks, Alan Mendenhall. Always love his time. We got to hit this break. We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
We get a lot of questions about what all we handle at Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader.
and we will handle all of your real estate needs.
We handle all your buying and selling needs, from your first home, next home, land, investment property, and even commercial properties.
We do it all and have the experience that shows you what makes us different.
So when you think real estate, think Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. Look us up on Facebook or give us a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you who you have on your sign matters.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of healthcare you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients, from making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly to getting to know you and your family's needs and following up on any questions you may have. Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a prospector. That's right, man. I'm prospecting for gold. You dig? No, but it looks like you do. And you know the first thing I'm going to do when I strike it rich? What's that? I'm going to hire David Ernest to be my money man. You mean everyone's favorite asset preservationist? That is correct, man. I'm going to call him up at 833-596-7233. 833-596-SAFE. You know, I've heard a lot of good things about David Ernest. You know, he's the best money man around with over 40 years of experience. Experience is necessary, especially when you're digging for gold. That's right, man. And I can see that you don't have very much experience. What do you mean, man? Well, you have the little plastic bucket and shovel like a kid would take to the beach. Yeah, man, well, I want to start out small and kind of pace myself up until I strike it rich. Well, maybe you should call David Ernest first. You think he's got a shovel? Never know till you ask. I dig, man.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Whether it's AC or heating or plumbing that you're needing, whatever you require, call Luke Wire. Since 1983, we've treated you like family. Day or night, we do things right so you can live more comfortably. Whether it's AC or heating or plumbing that you're needing, whatever you require, call Luke Wire right now.
Do you suffer every time you try to wear good-looking shoes, but you don't want to wear ugly shoes just because they're comfortable? The Good Feet store wants to help you wear heels, boots, and dress shoes again in comfort.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Now open from 6 to 5. Foggy or drafty windows? Alabama Wholesale Lumber's got energy-efficient replacements that'll save you money. Call their millwork pros today at Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
We'll be watching the radar for that potential midday cluster of storms, but the other big story is the heat, and I'm talking excessive, dangerous heat. We could see upper 90s today, perhaps, and maybe a heat index as high as 106, with the low tonight down to about 77. But tomorrow is potentially hotter, with a high temperature up to about, let's say, 99, and a heat index near 110. Heat advisory in effect Tuesday. More excessive heat on Wednesday. And I think the rain chances Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are very small. Let's say 20% or less. Late week will be not quite as hot, but hot enough. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now let's go to this just story. The headline's crazy, but it's a Secret Service agent
I want to hear this.
based in South Florida.
Okay.
Secret Service agent in South Florida was arrested Sunday on charges that he took part in paddling a new fraternity member so severely that the student suffered kidney damage and nearly died. Wow. I almost think, what's the thing you can get if you work out way too hard? Rhabdo? or
Yeah,
something?
Rhabdo, yeah.
Makes me think that's essentially like they destroyed his bottom so much. Like,
Yeah.
But the agent, Marquez Pinder, who's 29, was booked into a Miami jail on a felony charge of hazing, attempted manslaughter, and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, jail records show. Prosecutors have charged 2 other men with the same counts. Excuse me. Neither are Secret Service agents. According to an arrest warrant reviewed by the New York Times, investigators identified the victim as a University of Miami law student, and the fraternity involved is Kappa Alpha Psi, which officially prohibits hazing.
Kappa Alpha Psi, yeah.
The Secret Service put Mr. Pinder on leave about a month ago. His defense lawyer, Justin Beckman, said on Sunday Mr. Beckman declined to discuss details of the case, but said it was grossly overcharged. I mean, how many times you got to paddle somebody to almost kill them?
Pretty hard. I'd argue there was probably more damage done, though, than just that. Probably punching and other stuff. So, yeah.
He has served his country honorably, first in the military and then the Secret Service, Mr. Beckman said. We look forward to fighting these charges. The beatings happened on 4 occasions at off-campus apartments in April, and the victim suffered severe kidney damage, according to the warrant. He'd attended the University of Miami as an undergraduate and became interested in joining the fraternity's chapter. He officially joined in February and was a member of a local alumni chapter because he's in graduate school.
Right.
His second victim had similar injuries, the warrant said. In a statement on Sunday night, Michael Townsend, a special agent in charge of the Secret Service's Miami office, said the agency was cooperating with local investigators on the case. And he said the agency, quote, remains committed to accountability, professionalism, and integrity, and any misconduct will be addressed swiftly and appropriately upon completion of the investigative and judicial process. The arrest is another embarrassing episode involving agents at an agency that has also been criticized for security lapses amid a drain in personnel. Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
2 months ago, an off-duty Secret Service agent was arrested on a charge of indecent exposure after the police in Miami said he had masturbated in a hotel hallway.
Take it to a room.
Let's
Take it to a room, Joey.
Can we hear that again? 2 months ago, an off-duty Secret Service agent was arrested on the charge of indecent exposure after the police in Miami said he had masturbated in a hotel hallway. He has pleaded not guilty, court records show. In March, an agent accidentally shot himself in the leg. Okay, which is worse? I think I would almost take the bullet to the leg than be caught masturbating in a hotel hallway.
Yeah.
But in March, an agent accidentally shot himself in the leg at a Philadelphia International Airport. Okay, no, that's pretty bad. At the airport. Like, you're waiting on the in the terminal, you accidentally shoot yourself. Also that month, a Secret Service officer was arrested on allegations that he sent sexually explicit material to a young girl. Oh.
Dude, this guy's...
Okay, well, I mean, if you had to rank these of what, crimes you'd be charged with, I think I'm going to shoot myself in the leg. Yeah. Then the masturbating. And then, you don't want to be charged with sending stuff to a young girl. Get out of my mind. The prosecution of Mr. Pinder and the other 2 men are also serves to highlight the persistent problem of the college hazing culture in Florida and across the nation.
It's across the nation.
Now, I was not you were?
I was Beta Theta Pi.
Yeah, I didn't.
Sons of the
I
Dragon.
went to a few Rush parties, got real drunk.
You know, we were hazed, but it was nothing. It was
Nothing
nothing
crazy.
bad.
Because occasionally you do see like it goes way too
Well, it
far.
does.
It gets nuts.
On campus, when I was going to school, Ball State, there was I think Lambda Chi was they were shut down for a year because of hazing. The problem is you've always got that one jackass that's an active brother say drink more.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely the alcohol aspect of it. I mean, I've heard more fun stories where you're making them clean the house at 4 a.m. and you've got
toothbrushes on the
your
floor.
big speaker playing on repeat the opening to The Lion King. Like that's I guess a light form of psychological torture. Didn't they used to play music over and over again really loud?
Yeah, but we were known as the singing fraternity. We had to sing. We had. Listen, I'm not joking. I could sing them for you, Robin. Would be Gamma Nostra Candeat Obscurata Nunquam Acticertus Concerat. We had to do all this stuff. It was to the Beta Marseillaise, and the thing about it is Salve Beta Theta Pi to Regina Pura. But anyways, so my point is, they would play the songs over and over and over while we were doing it, and then you had to have in your handbook, you had a little pledge book, had Beta Theta Pi in the front. You had to have a stamp. This is how old I am. You had to have a postage stamp, a condom, a quarter in case you needed to make a phone call, and then a pen and paper. Always, they would stop you to say, "Pledge, let me see your book," or you get a demerit.
By the way, are there any units in the military that are known for singing as they do their job?
Absolutely. Yeah,
That's got to be one of the craziest
So let me
things
tell you
in the
about the
world.
time I was in Afghanistan. I get there, and I'm at Bagram, and I hear off in the distance, I hear this, "Oreo, Oreo, hey, hey." They were doing this stuff. It was the Royal Marines, the British Royal Marines, and they were building a footbridge going across, and they were bringing wood. It was pretty cool.
Also, like, I can just imagine that would be one of the craziest things, like almost operatic singing or unison singing as somebody's just a special force unit is slaughtering you. Like, that would be, you probably want some stealth.
It's like in Apocalypse Now, Robert Duvall's character with the second cav, he turns on the loudspeakers and the helicopters are playing Wagner's Flight of the Valkyrie. You remember? And it's dun, 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 dun. They're attacking, and Charlie Sheen's or Martin Sheen's character goes, "What are we doing?" He goes, "It scares the hell out of them." He says, "We do it this way."
Well, and this is like, this is old as warfare, right?
Oh yeah,
music is, and
drums,
and what's that
bagpipes.
crazy horn the Celts had when the Romans showed up?
Yeah.
Like that is one of the stuff of nightmares. Like
and then the Black Watch with their bagpipes going into battle.
and of course, can you imagine being like 12 or 13? You're the drummer boy.
It happened a lot. In the War of Northern Aggression. Yeah.
Whew. Like you don't even have a firearm. You just march.
Music is very important to the martial discipline and esprit de corps. Every morning you have the raising of the flag reverie, and then you have taps at night. So surrender of the colors.
Well, I guess we got on that because you went to a singing fraternity, but good tangent.
But there is, it was a great tangent, but you're right. It happens. Hazing does happen, and it's personality.
For instance, 3 fraternity members at an Arizona university were charged in connection with the hazing death of an 18-year-old undergraduate student.
Okay.
And this month, Ohio State University announced the fraternity chapter had its status revoked after a student was hospitalized during a hazing episode. Ooh,
Which fraternities does it name them?
I could click on that.
I'm just curious what it says. I don't know who they are.
No, this is behind a paywall.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, wait. Alpha Nu chapter of Pi Kappa Phi.
Yeah, Pikes. The Pikes.
Yeah.
Hey, I like the Revenge of the Nerds with their fraternity. It's like, nerds!
Nerds! Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
Yeah, hey, I was in South Alabama. I was in Sigma Nu.
Yep, SNU.
And back in the early 70s, we were like the animal house of fraternities, and they finally got kicked out. So kicked off.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was really pitiful. I had to leave them. Though. They were turning me into an alcoholic. So
yeah, man.
Hey, did y'all catch Bill the Lion? You know what, on Fox News, Bill de Blasio?
Oh, no.
He was on this morning and just talking how great Mondami is and how great. And when they would ask him, I mean, Bill Hemmer and them gave it to him, but, asking about all these radical beliefs by the DSA, and he said the same thing that they all said, oh, yeah, they got some things that they don't agree with, but they're bringing energy. I thought he said, yeah, the energy that they're going to string you up when they take over. That's the energy. I mean, that guy is you talk about a crappy mayor. What a lying, no good bum de Blasio is. I mean,
Oh, he's awful. And I don't watch Fox any really at all now. But if they had said one last thing, Bill, bring out the groundhog. Here's your second chance. Don't kill this one.
And then they had Marie Harf on right after that. She's one of these. She's like Jessica Tarr, talking, and she said the same thing when they asked her about all these radical ideas like getting rid of the Senate, getting rid of the Constitution, getting rid of the. She goes, well, they got some things I don't agree with, but they're bringing they got energy. They're. I mean, are these people? Are they that desperate? They hate Trump so much
they do.
that they will sell their souls to the devil
Yes.
to get him out of office.
Well, and I think they're scared of the socialists. Like they don't want to be caught being too against them if they end up in charge.
We know what happens then.
They're not socialists. These radical ones they're just downright communists.
They're insurgents. They are insurgents in our country, and they are here to destroy the republic.
If this came out back in the 50s, they'd be run. They'd be thrown in jail or executed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, well,
First Amendment, man. It's their First Amendment. They can say what they want. It's okay.
Well,
not.
Well, I got some other calls rolling.
As long as we got our Second Amendment.
Yeah, that's right, brother. That's why you have it. That's right.
Thanks, Jim.
That's right. All right, bye.
Let's go to line 2. You're on there. Is this?
Soldier Boy.
What's up?
Hey, Soldier Boy.
Hey, let me ask you, you know what fraternity I graduated from, didn't you?
No.
Phi Kappa Keg.
Okay.
We were into beer. Phi Kappa Keg.
Phi Kappa Keg. I mean, a kegger is not bad, baby. Like that's a lot of beer.
Hey, is there anything like draft beer, though? Nope.
Especially in a plastic cup, right?
Hey, Troy, second question I want to bring up. There's three points, talking points. Two talking points. Why don't we load up like we did in Afghanistan when the Soviets were there, like the CIA did, and gave the weapons and the stingers and everything? Why don't we load up the Kurds and let them take care of business? Boots on the ground.
Well, if you want me, my quick answer to that is we have betrayed the Kurds so many times, time and time again. So lately, the last shipment that was shipped that was supposed to be distributed to some of the southern cities, they kept, which I don't blame because they were told to hold in place. We'll let you know when to go. And so they've screwed this up. They could have actually, there's another group called the Balukis over on the northwest side that we could have dropped air. You push from the outside into Tehran and you condense it. And we totally botched that. So, yeah.
I think the Kurds would accept the weapons. I think there's that much internal hatred. You know what I mean?
Not hatred.
Just give me the stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
And and the third and final talking point is: did you hear about the SR-72?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Dark Star. The Dark Star. Yeah.
Oh my God, Mach 6. And I was doing some reading on it, and they said because of the external heat on it, because it's like 1,800 degrees outside, like a spaceship, like a space shuttle, that they had special, quote unquote, special ceramic tiles as for surface on a particular aircraft itself. Doesn't that sound like sounds like to me, how about yourself, reverse engineering?
Possibly. I think possibly, and I think Joey's grandfather was a tech on the SR-71.
Yeah.
He would tell you if he were sitting here, they had to put so much oil in that thing it would leak everywhere because they had to keep the surface.
And remove all the panels as soon as it landed.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but something about these panels are otherworldly. Maybe who knows? Yeah, it's possible.
Because to have such jump in speed, from what was it, Mach 2, Mach 3, the SR-71?
Mach 3, just over Mach 3, 3.2, I believe. And so the friction is so great on it. So great on it. So yeah.
Okay, and now you're jumping up to Mach 6.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, the technology. I tell you, the coolest thing when I was stationed at Robbins, they had the U-2 wing there, and that's the weirdest, bizarrest thing ever trying to take off because you got little wheels on the side that drop off.
It's weird.
As you take off.
It is weird. It's weird. It's a very weird aircraft, but it worked for a long time.
Yeah, it sure did. Because now it's all been replaced by satellites, right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So we don't need a U-2. We don't need the SR-71. But I couldn't believe the SR-72 at Mach 6 speed. That's just
unreal.
It's
that
unbelievable.
technology just jumping. So I still remember we had test tubes. My dad used to buy them at a store, to replace them on your tube TV.
Oh yeah.
And then within a couple of years, where everything's solid state. I mean,
I can tell you this, Joey can attest to this. The best kind of head to play on if you're playing electric guitar is one with tubes like a Marshall or Fender. It's got a warm, fuzzy sound to it.
More dynamic.
Yeah, more dynamic. But yeah, good call.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And remember, you never had to heat up the room because, man, those tubes got so hot, man. Man.
You're right. You can stand there and warm. You can do marshmallows by it.
Well, that was one room we didn't have to turn the heater on.
That's funny.
Well, I appreciate it, Soldier.
Thanks, brother. Yep.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
I keep finding things that you guys trigger memories up in when Edgerton, Germishausen, and Greer, E.G. and G. They don't talk much about what they were doing back then, but I think they've been continuing that because my friend who just got out of the Navy here not long ago, he's going to be going into private business once he gets some things out of the way. He was kidding me when we were talking about UFOs and whatever you call that these days. He was kidding around when he said, "You know what that is?" I said, "What?" He said, "Those are flying dolphins."
Flying dolphins?
Flying dolphins?
Yeah. But E, D, and G, they were not only involved in nuclear tests way back then, but they were doing some things that involved how do we harness magnetics and gravitation, and nobody talks about that because we're still working on that up at Huntsville.
We are.
I think some of the things that I saw flying around in Montgomery, one flew over the house in broad daylight while I'm sitting and looking up. It was about the size of a cap. It was rusty red. I think that was to simulate a hawk. It did not flap. It made no sound whatsoever. It flew in a straight line right out of where I'm not going to tell you. But I watched it. That's a drone, and this was a long time ago. I mean, test flight things. I was pretty sure that was a test flight. Kind of like when the brothers came down here and flew their little aircraft, the Kitty Hawk, came down here. Okay, I'm running my mouth too much, but watch out because we have more things that they can't talk about. But it was nice to hear you guys talking about the planes. That's fantastic. Every now and then I hear something taking off and living here. It's very nice.
Well, I appreciate it, Crawdad.
you,
Happy
Thank
to
you,
triggered some memory.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Got to hit this break. But first, this entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you whether you're looking to buy a home or refinance your current home. You can't control interest rates. You can't control the inventory of housing. And you certainly can't control whatever the national news is freaking out about. And you also shouldn't be acting like, real estate's this one-size-fits-all sort of decision. No, you need to think about your own economy, your own household, and what's best for you. And, of course, they can get you in that position to be informed, to actually make a truly informed decision when it comes to refinancing or buying a home. And if you're a veteran, they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. They specialize in the VA mortgage, and it's one of the strongest home financing options available. Truly amazing, like offering benefits like no down payment purchases and 100% cash out refinances. Really great stuff. And even if you're not a veteran, if you're looking for that great deal, especially with the refinance to get credit card debt off your back or shore up your retirement fund, or if it's time, like you need to downsize, you're in too much of a home, or you need to upsize because you've got kids on the way. Well, they can help you out there and buying a place, walk you through the process from pre-approval all the way to closing day. So check them out That's Alabama Home Mortgage. Start that conversation today at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Pizza Perfect is carrying over the $10 buffet for July. They also have the perfect deal to feed your family tonight. Order any large pizza and get an order of boneless wings free. Pizza Perfect is known for their all-you-can-eat buffet, including pizza, spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink, and it's only $10 in July. Available Monday through Saturday for lunch and for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Buy any large pizza, get an order of boneless wings on the house at Pizza Perfect, Coliseum Boulevard, Eastbrook, pickup and delivery.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Accurate, immediate, carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
I'm doing all right. Now, we're in the middle of summer. Football season's not that far away. And there are some men out there that are like, I don't have a good smoker. I don't have a proper grill. And, I'm expecting to invite all sorts of folks over. How am I going to cook this big old slab of meat if I don't have the proper equipment? Y'all have got stuff like that there, Cohen.
That's right. We've got those Napoleon grills. We've got some Traeger grills. We've got the Kamado Joe. But the Napoleon does an incredible job. They come in gas or natural gas. They even have a add-on that you can do where you can just use charcoal in the gas grill, so you can have a combination of charcoal and gas. They've got that sear station, so you can make your steaks just like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. And some people get the boiler on the side where you can have, like, if you want to have a big fish boil or crawdad boil, whatever. So you've got a lot of different options with it. They make different sizes. They even make some that you can build in, so they don't all have to be on the portable wheels cart like they normally come.
Yeah, folks, there's a lot of options there. And also, maybe you got a grill, but y'all have like a whole wall or two of accessories.
That's right. We try to keep some good accessories in available for these units. And everybody's got a different way that they want to grill. There's no right way or wrong way. It's just whichever way works good for you.
Well, folks, get by there. Just get your grilling options ready to go. Get yourself a grill. Be a man. Grill out.
And you can add some nice speakers for your patio.
There you go.
You can add a nice television for your patio. A lot of people are making their outdoor area more of a living area where they can kind of use it more year-round.
And what about an outdoor fridge or freezer so you don't have to keep trekking inside to get a cold one?
Well, that's right. That's right. A lot of companies make some nice small under-counter units. They can be like a nice beverage center. We've got nice ice machines. You can get ice machines that make little cubes, big cubes, or pellet ice. Whatever you want, somebody makes, and we have them available.
Well, folks, y'all get by Cohen's today. Of course, you can always check them out online at thickcohens.com, but I say get by there. 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And find Michael and be like, hey, I heard you talking to Joey and Troy, and we didn't even mention Eddie.
That's right, and Troy was very quiet.
Well, I'm unlike Eddie, I don't have to interject all the time. I'm joking. Listen, he's always got something funny to say. I'm kind of like more serious, but I am coming by to see you once at the beginning of the month. Once I get my deposit from the VA, I want to come see you about that 85-inch.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the one that you talked about. So look forward to meeting you.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it too, Troy.
All right, brother.
Y'all have a great day. Come see us.
God bless. Michael Cohen with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. He really is the best. They're the best. Well, let's hit this break. Hampton Harris should be calling
Hampton
in a second. You got something you want to read? It's a follow-up on the data center.
Yeah, I got Robin's like, thank you. I had so much, not negativity, but a lot of people, a lot to talk about.
And then we, of course, have more to talk about in terms of the socialists taking over and their platform and how the Democrats are freaking out about all this, but then the Republicans might suck just enough to where it still give the Democrats ground. I mean, we'll figure it out.
The current break on Iran, too.
Yeah, we haven't even touched on it.
No, we have not touched on that.
We'll be right back.
Joey Clark.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Hopes for a new ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran. Mediators say they've made some progress in trying to bring both sides back to the table, but there have been scattered attacks by armed groups across the region, lingering tensions, as neither the U.S. nor Iran have claimed any strikes over the past 3 days. Police searched for a second suspect today after gunfire erupted at a crowded food festival underneath Seattle's Space Needle. That left 3 people dead, 4 others wounded. New comments from a Democrat Socialist of America leader are drawing attention. Democratic Socialists of America co-chair Megan Romer says the group's long-term platform includes abolishing borders, granting amnesty to illegal aliens, eliminating ICE and prisons, and abolishing the U.S. Senate, the presidency, and the U.S. Supreme Court. This is SRN News.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland.
Giveaways galore all summer long. Diamond Days Diamond Jewelry Giveaway and TV Tuesdays TV Giveaway with $185,000 in free play at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We'll be watching the radar for that potential midday cluster of storms, but the other big story is the heat, and I'm talking excessive, dangerous heat. We could see upper 90s today, perhaps, and maybe a heat index as high as 106, with the low tonight down to about 77. But tomorrow is potentially hotter, with a high temperature up to about, let's say, 99, and a heat index near 110. Heat advisory in effect Tuesday. More excessive heat on Wednesday. And I think the rain chances Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are very small. Let's say 20% or less. Late week will be not quite as hot, but hot enough. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
The state health officer for Alabama, Scott Harris, is now blaming those who refuse to get vaccines for the rise in measles cases across the U.S. Harris weighed in on the issue on Alabama Public Television, although the state of Alabama has not had one case of measles emerge here. The measles cases are all in other states. Harris suggested that the rise in measles is directly linked to parents not getting their children vaccinated.
A lot of it happened during the pandemic, and some of that was just disruption of medical services.
Sure.
You know, kids weren't going to get their routine school shots, and you know, the other hospitals were full and doctors were busy, and so a lot of people got behind on shots with their children. But there is vaccine skepticism and I don't think we have in Alabama a lot of people who are just anti-vaxxers, but I do think we have a lot of, you know, young parents who are just kind of confused about what people are saying.
The information on vaccine rates within the Center for Disease Control and Prevention show the very same percentage level of vaccination for the year 2026 as for the year 2025. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A suspicious package reported on the campus of UAB in Birmingham has been determined to be a lithium battery that was reacting. The Birmingham Fire and Rescue was called to the area on 20th Street where an evacuation took place. No injuries were reported. I'm Andrea Tyson.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. 272-9228 if you want to get in your shots of the final hour. But we first have to start off with a guest I like very much because he's been here before they did all the changes. He's been running for Congress here in District 2. He's ready to take on Shamari Figures himself. And I think he should still be considered in the running here as the Republican nomination for the special election to be the next congressman from District 2, coming up August 11th. So joining us now, we have Hampton Harris. Hampton, how are you, sir?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for having me today.
So how's the campaign going?
It's going great. We're hitting the ground these last 2 weeks full steam ahead because, as you know, it's 2 weeks from tomorrow's election day.
Yep.
So we're spreading the word, making sure everybody knows about it and gets out there and makes their voices heard.
So why should folks get out there? Because it can make a huge difference, number one. I'll just answer my own question there. Like, the turnout levels are not expected to be high, but why should they get out there and maybe they don't go all the time, but get out there and vote for Hampton Harris?
Yeah, so there's a couple of reasons here that hit. Number one is the state of our affairs, the state of our country. If you look at it, there's so much complaining going on these days, and instead of complaining, how about we do something about it? And that's one of the reasons I'm in this race, and that's a way that everyone can make their voice heard, is get out there and vote. Make your voice heard, and this seat is going to be one of the biggest seat turnovers in the U.S. I mean, this could determine who holds the majority in the House of Representatives and what determines Donald Trump's presidency for his last 2 years here. And so everyone's voice is going to make a major impact in making sure we pick a good, strong, Republican, conservative candidate that's going to uphold Jesus in D.C. and look out for Americans and look out for Alabama District 2 here. And with turnout being low as expected, your voice is going to count 2 times as much as it usually does. So we need people to get out there and vote.
And when you said he invoked the name Jesus, let me tell you, I was at an event that was hosted by his beautiful parents over in Pike Road. It well attended. Dick Brubaker spoke, Brian Dawson. It was a great crowd. I want to tell you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, that family is representative of what happens when you homeschool, when you control. The family was so Christian. Every one of your sisters, every one of you are going to be successful in life because your parents, Scott and Stacy, did a great job raising you. I can't stress enough. Brian Dawson has a wonderful family like that too, and it was just refreshing, Joey, to see the beautiful Christ-centric family that was there. So I salute you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, how do you feel about, because we're making distinctions between a bunch of Republicans running, but I got to ask you, what do you make of this socialist insurgency within the Democratic Party?
We've been seeing it for years, and really over the last probably about 70 years, it's been creeping in slowly. But in my lifetime, they no longer even try to hide it. They just put it out right there in front. Communism went from being a dirty word to being what they claim to be a party, and they're running on it now and winning seats. I mean, Mayor Mondani up there, essentially a self-proclaimed communist, and he's getting elected. And so it's scary. It's the way that our country has to be fighting, because if they take over, they're going to destroy the American way of life. You cannot have freedom under a socialist or communist party or a regime, more for a better word there. And one of their main things they are trying to do is tear apart the nuclear family and cause us to be reliant on the government. And that's what the Communist Party wants, is someone that looks up to the government, and it's all about control, all about power. And we must have our voices heard, get out there and stop it, because we have a nation where we can do that, and we are blessed to be in a nation that's that great.
Now, and of course, your opponent will be, if you get the nomination, Shamari Figures. Are you prepared, to get the money together, to get the team together, to really take on the current incumbent right now in this district? I'd imagine you've been preparing long before even the courts changed up the districts.
That's right. So we were planning. When I got in this race, I was the only Republican to jump in against him. Nobody else wanted to challenge him. They thought he had too much of a stronghold, and they were just going to let our voices continue being represented by a Democrat. And I wasn't willing to do so, so I jumped in, and we had our plan. We were going into November. We had an entire attack plan to win this district back. And we still have that ready for November, and we will be able, we have a clear path. We had a clear path to victory before. Now that we have new district lines, we are going to take it back by storm. And so we are excited moving towards the end if we get in, and I believe we will, win the Republican nominee and go into November and take this district back for Alabama.
Folks got to get out there and vote on August the 11th.
That's right.
Hey, tell us a little bit about your grassroots approach. It's pretty. As Admiral Davis said, Admiral Davis was mowing his yard one day last couple weeks ago, Joey, and who comes up in his driveway to knock on his door? Hampton Harris, and Admiral goes, "Wow, you don't see that often." So, tell us a little bit about your approach.
Yeah, so we're running a really strong campaign, and one thing that I think needs to be the forefront of a good congressman is being able to be contacted and being available for the constituents and the people. And so I want to be a congressman who everyone can contact, reach to the office, get things solved, and not be like the majority of them up there. Once they're in there, it's essentially impossible to get to. And so we've been running a very strong grassroots campaign and meeting the people, talking with them, seeing their concerns, and making sure that we're a voice for the people of Alabama, and not some big agenda, not some lobbying group. And nearly every bit of our money is from individual donations, and we've been running it so we will be held accountable by the people, and that's who's funding our campaign as well. And that's something that I think is really important, because that's ultimately who we are accountable to. And that's the most important endorsement that we can get, is the vote of every Alabamian in District 2, because that is who we are speaking on behalf of as a representative. And so that's something that I want to make sure that I do in this position as well.
Well, so before I let you go, if folks are just hearing you on these airwaves for the first time, give them the basic stump speech, who you are, why you're running, and then let's get out of here.
Awesome, yeah. So I grew up in Montgomery. I'm a Montgomery boy, grew up off of Perry Hill Road and then Pike Road, and I was homeschooled through high school. I had 6 siblings. I have 2 brothers and 4 sisters. And I went to Auburn, Montgomery, and got an economics degree, and then headed up to Birmingham and got my law degree at Sanford, Cumberland School of Law up there. Met my wife in law school, and now we're back just outside of Montgomery, and she is a JAG officer over at Maxwell Air Force Base. She's a captain there, does all their legal work, and I own a real estate brokerage that I've been operating here, have some people working for me in Montgomery, and been running that and doing some law as well. And really just have deep roots here. Been going to church grew up in Fraser Church. My grandfather, Andy Harris, has been teaching there for the last about 50 years, and go to Brewer out in Pike Road now. And so we have really deep roots here. And I've always seen through the years how every time we get certain presidents, they want to take Maxwell out of Montgomery. And we need to make sure that we have a voice here in Montgomery, that we cannot lose Maxwell. We cannot lose Gunner. Our city is so reliant on them. So we need to make sure that we got somebody here that knows the importance of these bases and our veterans and our military across this district, because this is a very heavy military district.
Let me tell you something, Joey. Almost everybody to a T says that it's a good thing your wife's not running against you.
That's right.
She's very likable, very affable, and a very, very fine Air Force officer. So, yeah, good stuff.
That's right.
Well, I appreciate the time, Hampton. And if folks like what they're hearing, want to help you out in this final 2 weeks before the special election day, how can they do so?
Yeah, so they can find us on HamptonHarrisForAlabama.com. We're Hampton Harris for Congress on Facebook and Instagram. Get out there, give us a follow, read all about us, and tell your friends, tell your families, tell your churches to get out there on August 11th, because that's where it comes down to, is getting people out there, making sure your voice is heard, and making sure we send someone to D.C. that's not going to bend to political pressure, but is going to stand for the people of Alabama District 2.
Well, I appreciate the time, man. And if you want to hop back on before that election day, you're always welcome.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. Hampton Harris, folks. He might very well be your next congressman, but you get to choose.
That's right.
You get to choose. Now, in a second, we'll go to your op-ed that's going to drop tomorrow, and this is after getting a lot of feedback from your last week's data center piece.
Yeah, a lot.
And so, when the people speak and return back their voice, you got to react to it sometime.
Well, you know what, and I try to, and I have not failed yet to always respond when someone writes something about a piece. I try to say thank you for reading, and it was just, there were so many of them. I said, you know what, Robin goes, you need to tell the rest of the story, so I will.
Now, I do really like, though, that 1819 News after 2 o'clock puts up new stories, and it's just fun sometimes to see the headline at the top of the page and just share it with the world as I'm first reading it. And the headline reads, Tuskegee University bans. What do you think they banned at Tuskegee without looking at the website?
Marijuana.
No.
I don't know. Fraternities.
Tuskegee University bans do-rags, bonnets, and slippers in classrooms and dining halls.
Okay.
Yeah, Tuskegee wants its students to dress for success in the classroom and around campus. The university's president, Dr. Mark A. Brown, emailed parents of the incoming students to outline changes to the school's dress code and device use. The new rule bans bonnets, do-rags, and slippers or bedroom shoes in classrooms, dining halls, and at official university events. The president also announced a stricter attendance policy and in-class cell phone rules that say that unless the teacher gives permission for devices to be used, they're to be put away during lectures.
Okay.
Tuskegee University's new dress code isn't about bonnets and do-rags. It's the latest chapter in a decades-long conversation about respectability, politics, Black identity, and the expectations placed on HBCU students before they even enter the workforce. Taylor Adigan wrote in a column for Ebony magazine on Monday, from not sagging our pants to opting for straightened or otherwise manipulated hairstyles, Black people have been categorically conditioned to alter our behavior based on what is deemed acceptable by white culture, even if that culture doesn't abide by those same principles itself. Its author at Ebony magazines writes, aside from a few crying foul, the response online has largely been supportive, with many emphasizing that adults could use a refresher on etiquette as well.
Well, that way, when they go on their next Caribbean or Royal Caribbean cruise or something, they won't have problems.
Mm-hmm.
You saw they did that too. The dress code on the cruises.
Plus, you want to wear a do-rag, like get a job where you can wear a do-rag.
Yeah, really. There's plenty of. Be a garbage man.
You know what? If I wanted to wear a do-rag, I could.
In the military, we wore them all the time.
Yeah,
keeps the sweat off your head when you put it under your helmet.
Yeah, so, sometimes this hair's a lot.
Yes, you have a. What care products do you use?
That's really a personal question.
I'm just curious. Is it that Healthy Mane, the horse
That's
shampoo you could get?
What it is? Testosterone.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's good for hair.
It is, I know. Well, you know what? I have a lot of testosterone, but you'll find out. Mm. You'll find out. It may escape you sometimes.
No, shampoo, conditioner, maybe some oil because it gets frizzy in the summer.
That's cool.
Well,
yeah, you do have naturally wavy hair, so I'm sure it can.
Yeah, I mean, I think lately it's been just luxury.
How long does it take you to dry your hair?
A few minutes.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I know it
It's
is.
the testosterone. It's the thick old mane back there. Anyway, sometimes I just want to tie it up, put it in a bonnet.
You can do that.
Yeah, because I'm on radio. Nobody cares.
No, that's right.
Right. And as much as like Coach Tuberville's going to give me a hard time.
You know he is.
I was like, well, you're just jealous because you got to be coach. You got to be a governor. You got to be a senator. You got to be you just wish you could be over here looking like Shooter Jennings. All right.
Shooter Jennings. Yeah. If you play like Shooter Jennings now, you got something going on.
Yeah. That's how you get good at like music. You can do whatever you want.
That's right.
Or become a writer. Nobody cares. Just do whatever you want.
What's he say? I got my name painted on my shirt. I ain't no ordinary dude. I don't have to work. That's his daddy, Waylon.
Waylon, baby. Anyway, you want to do your piece now?
If you're ready.
Yeah, because that's enough of the Tuskegee thing, and I don't want to jump off into the midterm socialist Democrats thing.
And we have the Iran thing probably.
We definitely need to touch on that.
It goes like this. Veritas, follow-up to the data center's concerns. My earlier opinion piece, dated 21/26, received a great deal of comments and correspondence from our readers. This cascade of opinions regarding this hotly contested matter is paramount to the future of our republic. So let's talk about it. The first piece framed data centers as an inevitable battlefield necessity with communities squarely in the crosshairs. This one starts from the ground up, literally from the dirt under the people's feet as it being excavated for the data centers. Citizens aren't protesting progress. Rather, they're tired of misdirection, misinformation, and mismanagement of their affairs. Elected officials best take care of this before it becomes a cause célèbre. This isn't a constituent partnership. It's a camouflage occupation by another name. The people are furious, and their fury is justified because the only ones getting rich are the ones who never have to live next to these industrial behemoths. I will state emphatically again, however, we require these centers. That is non-negotiable. Artificial intelligence, cloud storage, and the constant hum of modern life in the digital age all feed into these facilities. And without them, we surrender the technological edge to China and thus endanger our primacy and our national security. However, in no way does this requirement excuse the brigand approach and the profiteering plundering. We can meet these requirements without sacrificing American communities to voracious corporate appetites. The public is watching their own farmland get strip mined for someone else's server farm, while the people who signed the deal vanish behind closed doors. Public officials treat transparency as an inconvenience, signing NDAs that disappear the moment records are requested, leaving taxpayers to foot the bills of development to only see them leave later. The arrangements for these 20-year tax abatements that starve local governments are not a good look for our politicians. Water tables drop, power requirements soar, power costs to the individual goes up, and individual impacts are quite certain. Alas, what are we to do? The solution, I believe, lies in a strategic relocation to colder climates, where natural cooling reduces the massive energy drain. Maine, North Dakota, Minnesota, Montana, Idaho, and Alaska, for example, are perfect conditions. Frigid air that slashes cooling costs, abundant water sources far away from a population demand center, and vast open spaces that minimize disruption to existing towns and farms. Place the centers there, where the environmental footprint lands on empty land rather than backyards, and the economic benefits will still flow. National defense is ensured, all without a local backlash. This matter requires a national plan that our legislators must now prioritize and promote with a sense of urgency, ASAP. This should be transparent to all, and not like these recent confidential backroom deals cooked up in secret. State, federal leaders must coordinate to direct investment and redirection to these northern and western frontiers, offering incentives that actually benefit the host regions instead of stripping them bare. I shudder to say the federal government must take lead on this, as it is a critical infrastructure policy. Public input must be mandatory, not optional, with full disclosure of contracts, water usage projections, environmental impacts, and power demands before any shovel ever hits the ground. No more hidden NDAs. No more documents ordered destroyed the second a Freedom of Information request is asked, or a citizen just asked to see them. This is not governance, as we already stated. It's a clear conspiracy against the governed to plunder and profiteer from the public. The future of data centers in America will be decided by whether we choose planned, smart deployed, or continued selfish exploitation. If we keep ramming these facilities into unwilling communities, the protests will continue to grow, the lawsuits will multiply, and the political costs will mount until the entire project stalls. But if we relocate to the colder, water-rich north and west, we secure the infrastructure we need without impacting populace. Bolster the future of national defense whilst preserving the communities that make this nation worth defending. As with all things of critical importance, the choice ultimately should be considered in relation to the best interests of our citizenry. We can fight this battle the right way, or we can keep bleeding support on the home front. All the while, the real enemies advance around us due to our indecision and our discord locally as well as D.C. The horizon belongs to those nations bold enough to claim it, but to do so with a plan that can satisfy the requirements at hand and to ensure our citizenry are respected and acknowledged.
Troy Carrico, folks. And it makes a lot of, you're just making common sense at this point.
It's my mea culpa. I mean, I think I focus too much on, hey, like Coach said, it's coming, just get used to it. Well, yeah, that may be true, and it is true. And I told you when I worked with the Corps of Engineers, I saw the largest data server farm in the world at the time in Leesburg, Virginia. And I thought, what happens when we continue this digital advancement? And it's here. So we need to figure it out. And dare I say, I hate saying this, Joey, our legislators are going to have to take lead on this, and they're going to have to come up with some solution.
Oh, we'll see if they actually do something, or if small towns are going to get screwed or something.
Lobbyists prevail.
But another story here. And it just reminds me of something that I say every day.
Yeah.
Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama.
Okay.
The Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama recently announced that Birmingham mayor, as the mayor of Birmingham, Randall Woodfin,
Yes.
has been named the 2026 Crime Stopper of the Year.
Wow.
An award given for the mayor's efforts to make, quote, Birmingham a better place to live for everyone.
Okay.
Crime Stoppers recently announced the award, which it says it gave to Woodfin at an annual luncheon at the Finley Center in Hoover last week. According to the organization, the award recognizes individuals who have made significant contributions to fighting crime and supporting Crime Stoppers programs. The award is given annually by Crime Stoppers organizations to individuals, often law enforcement officers, who demonstrate exceptional dedication and effectiveness in their work to reduce crime. Whether you're an individual or business, we all want our communities to be safer, says Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama Board Chairman J. Frank Bearfield Jr. This year, we're recognizing Mayor Woodfin for his ongoing efforts and policies to reduce crime and make Metro Birmingham a better place to live for everyone. The nonprofit cited the reduction in homicides as a reason for the award, along with millions invested in police department recruitment and staffing, and the mayor's commitment to Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama. I'm honored to receive this recognition for Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama, but this award belongs to everyone who is committed to making our city safer, from our police officers and first responders to neighborhood leaders, community organizations, and residents who choose courage over silence, Woodfin said upon receiving the award. Public safety is a shared responsibility. Indeed it is. And when people trust one another enough to speak up, work together, and invest in their neighborhoods, we build stronger, safer communities. While we've made meaningful progress, our work isn't finished, and we'll continue doing everything we can to protect the people who call Birmingham home.
The numbers, Joey, are striking. The FBI reports it's down overall over the last 3 years, 12% overall crime, and 70% decrease in homicides.
Wow.
And then, let's see, 75, actually, I stand corrected. Property crimes are down from 26.7% to about 14%.
Wow.
Auto thefts down from 40% to 27%. And you know what they attribute it to? The FBI said smart, intelligence-led policing. Simpler Days, you listening? He knows. They targeted the people that they needed to take out, and they got them.
This is Birmingham, which reminds me, and that was the mayor of Birmingham, Randall Woodfin, right?
Right, Woodfin, yeah.
So it just reminds me that Montgomery needs a new mayor.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was in the running. I don't. As Crime Stopper of the Year.
Well, with the #1 crime rate in the state, I can't see how you could do that.
272-9228. Now, shifting gears.
Yes.
Shannon Bream of Fox News had on, who'd she have on? I think this is a co-chair of the Democratic Socialist of America. Her name is Megan Romer, and she's wearing very thick red-colored frame glasses.
Harry Carey from the Cubs win again. The Cubs win again. She looks like sloppy like him.
Yeah. Well, she is just going to get straight up. And I mean, I've met a few of these types, especially in my libertarian days.
Yeah,
you get the types that are like, no, we mean it.
The Island of Misfit Toys. Right
You know, but let's listen in.
Okay, so we're going to put up on the screen a few of the things that are part of your platform. And I want to ask you, just give me sort of a true or false on these. Abolish the Senate.
True.
Okay, replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them.
Yep.
Abolish ICE.
Absolutely.
Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally.
As a long-term plan, yep.
Defund the Pentagon.
Absolutely.
Abolish prisons, at least in large part.
Yeah, again, that as part of a long-term program, yeah.
Okay, so no prisons. Government or public ownership of most large corporations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to put up on the screen a few of the things.
Sounds great.
Yeah, you can win.
Sounds really great.
What could possibly go wrong?
And so here's NBC News. Of course, they would be one of those corporations already owned by the government.
Right.
But this is Kornacki.
Oh, this isn't our guy. I like the really
we've got
crazy one on CNN. He's like,
we've
look
got
at
a
these
clip
numbers.
of Harry Enton in a
I love
second.
him. I love him.
Yeah, in a different life, he probably was trying to sell the ShamWow.
Oh, you know he was.
But instead, Vince from ShamWow is running for Congress. I wonder if he did all right.
Yeah, I haven't even
I haven't
tracked
heard
that.
about
We got to
that.
check into that.
But anyway, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It is. Make you how?
This is Kornacki talking about, Americans' views of socialism in an NBC News poll.
Season, socialists winning Democratic primaries, candidates from the far left. And look at this here. Among Democrats, this is that Fox poll, a majority have a favorable view of socialism.
So 52% of Democrats have a favorable view of socialism. Now, watch what he's about to do.
Step outside the Democratic Party. It's a totally different world. Look at independence, socialism, deeply unpopular there. So is that a vulnerable?
77% of independents say unfavorable opinion of socialism.
Ability for Democrats that would keep them from capitalizing on Trump's obvious weaknesses here. Look more specifically at the two chambers here. Senate side, this, if you're a Democrat, this is the particularly tough one. They need a net gain of 4 seats to get control of the Senate. Take a look at the map here. How would they get 4? 4 is their target number. There's first thing, they can't lose ground. Georgia, New Hampshire, Michigan, Democratic seats, big primary coming up.
By the way, Trump is speaking live in Michigan like it's a presidential race.
Right.
We're 99 days away.
Michigan in a few weeks there. They could have general election implications. Democrats have to win those just to not lose ground. Then the 2 Republican seats they think they have the best shot at would be Susan Collins in Maine. Democrats have a new candidate there now. And in North Carolina, where Democrats have nominated the former governor season.
So we'll see. We'll see. But, you mentioned the crazy guy on CNN.
I love him.
Yeah, well, he is saying, hey, lower your expectations, Democrats. In fact, kind of lower your expectations, everybody. Buy a ShamWow.
ShamWow. I'm looking it up.
But here is Harry Enton talking about, the Democrats' hopes of a blue wave.
The only one who's surprised. You would be looking at all the news coverage, you'd be looking at all the polling on President Trump, and you would think that Democrats would be able to take advantage and be dominating Republicans when it comes to who is trusted to handle the Iran war. That, simply put, is not the case at all. I mean, these numbers are quite surprising. Trust Dems or Republicans on Iran. According to CNBC earlier this month, you'd think, okay, that's one poll. The Republicans trusted by 2 points. But then CBS News comes out yesterday, and what do you see? You see the exact same thing. Trump and the Republicans take the cake. They are trusted by 2 points on Iran. Now, one poll is one thing, but you put the two of them together, and you can see that the American people, simply put, are not buying what Democrats are selling on Iran. They still trust Republicans more, even if you look at President Trump's approval ratings on the subject, and they're -2. But yet, Republicans and Trump still more trusted than Democrats are in Iran.
Has there been any change over time?
No, and this is even more surprising, right? You might think, okay, as the war has gone on and on and on, you might think, hey, the Democrats would be gaining ground in terms of trust that the American people would give them on Iran. If anything, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. Trust Democrats or Republicans more in Iran. In April, according to a Washington Post Ipsos poll, the Democrats were more trusted by 2 points. Again, close margin, no clear leader. But look where the shift has been. If anything, the shift has been in the Republican direction. Now the Republicans and Donald Trump are trusted more by 2 points on Iran. So, again, over the course of the war, if anything, the Republicans have been the ones that have been gaining ground, which I think just goes so opposed to all of the news coverage that we have seen so far and all of, the media. You would think, hey, but no, the American people are actually trusting the Republicans and Trump, if anything, more now than they were, let's say, halfway through the war.
So how possible is it that...
Listen, when you look at him, I see the illegitimate love child of Marco Rubio.
Oh, man.
Do you see the...
Don't you accuse Mark? He's a good Catholic boy.
I know that, but I'm just saying he's kind of like, he talks a little like him, and he's like kind of about the same
Rubio
stuff.
doesn't talk like this.
He does. Listen, I'm telling you, I see it.
Anyway.
Part of this is just that Americans don't like Democrats in Congress much at all.
Yeah, I think this is a big part of it. The Democratic Party in the minds of the American public are weak, to quote the great Tony Blair. I mean, just look at this. Just look at these net approval ratings of Democrats in Congress. In late February, at the beginning of the war, it was -41 points, -39, -39. And so you're just looking at these numbers right here, and you go to yourself, no wonder what's going on at this point, that Democrats, simply put, cannot take the ball and run with it and actually in the polls be trusted more than Iran, because the Democrats in Congress, simply put, are not well liked. In fact, these are the 3 lowest on record in terms of percentage points for the approval for Democrats in Congress. So it all puts together a picture. Donald Trump and Republicans may not be liked, but Democrats in Congress are really hated.
A lot of this is D on D crime. I mean, there are Democrats who are unhappy with their own party, who Democrats hope might vote.
Yeah. But it's also, he's right. But it's also, it seems like this midterm election's going to end up being who sucks less.
That's exactly what it's going to be. Pick your poison, right?
You know, Trump is speaking live in Milford, Michigan.
Yep. Outside of Detroit.
We've brought down prices because in my first term, we had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We got hit with COVID at the end, and we did a great job in that. Operation Warp Speed and the whole thing kicked a great job. Didn't get credit for it, but okay. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world, and we are blowing it away this time. You'll see the results very soon. I'm a little bit upset because in 2.5 years, you may have a different president, and that president will be saying how great the economy is. Anyway, I'm reading the closed captioning.
Mom, that is Joey. That's Joey, not President Trump.
We have factories being built, and more than any in our country's history. They're all going to be opening now or soon. And I got some guy or woman who is going to take credit for that. Remember that I did it. I did it.
My mom said, I don't know if it's really Joey or not.
I'll be reading the papers, watching television, and I'll be having a real idiot. We are doing record. We are doing automobiles. By the way, don't worry about it, Mary. They will screw it up. It won't take them long, but we won't let that happen. Our great big beautiful bill gave us no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great city or seniors. That's our big deal. And the overtime you're working, and I don't know how much, but I know that you are making a lot of cars. He is just, man, he doesn't stop.
You know what? You do it good off the teleprompter. You're just like, okay, I can do this.
No, it's a second voice in
I
my
know
head.
you are.
Anyway.
That's great.
And I know a lot of people are like, well, it's not a complete no tax on Social Security.
Well, it's
correct.
partial. Hey, Vince Offer, your guy, ShamWow.
Yeah.
He was defeated in the primary
Yeah,
in November, but listen, he finished 6 out of 10. But he sued the state, and he's got a suit against the state of Texas's elections office because they removed Vince quotation mark ShamWow quotation mark Offer, and they took it off the ballot, and he's suing him that gave Carter the chance to overcome him by name recognition. Interesting.
Actually,
move.
that is an interesting argument.
They removed ShamWow guy from his middle of his name.
Anyway, we got to hit this break. We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What are you getting? Still deciding, but I do know on August 11th, I'm choosing Rhett Marcus for Congress. Why Rhett Marcus? Because he's a true conservative, endorsed by President Trump and Senator Katie Britt. Oh, then you can trust him. And he's a small business owner, not a politician. Sounds like this choice on August 11th is the easiest decision we'll ever make.
Remember to vote on August 11th. I'm Rhett Marcus, the Trump-endorsed candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rhett for Alabama.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
Hey, y'all, Lewis at the Capital Oyster Bar, located over here on that beautiful Alabama River, and down here cooking up that fresh seafood for you. We got a fryer, a steamer, and a grill, so we can cook it just like you like it. We have a good time down here, and especially good time on Sunday afternoons. This week from Nashville, Piper and the Hard Times. Man, this band won the International Blues Challenge about 2024, I believe, 2023, somewhere in there, but they've been killing it, playing all over the world. They're coming down here for a 4 o'clock show. Another big thing we got going on, we started selling propane down here, so besides selling gas on the river, we got propane up here at the RV park. You can come down here and stay a little while. You can rent you a pontoon boat. All you need is a driver's license, a credit card. A little common sense helps out, but we can have you a good time on the river. Check everything out, CapitalOysterBar.com. Get over to our Facebook page. You'll see a little information about Piper and the Hard Times and something to look forward to Sunday afternoon. And also the upcoming shows and the menu and the map how to get here, everything you need to know. Remember, Piper, 4 o'clock showtime. See you soon, y'all.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, listen up. A $2,500 sign-on bonus only at Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Work for a company that puts God and family first. 855-777-9785. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. The big story continues to be the heat. Today was hot enough. Tomorrow will be hotter. And even tonight, very oppressive. Overnight low temperature down to about 77. Tomorrow, a heat advisory. High temperature, upper 90s to maybe teasing 100, but the heat index is high as 110. In fact, even Wednesday, excessive heat indices. And I think the rain chances Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are very small with high pressure in control. Storms few and far between. Late week will be not as hot, but hot enough. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Thunder. Hey, Thunder, how you doing?
I am doing well. I hope you gentlemen have had a good weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question, and this goes out to the both of y'all because y'all are a lot more knowledgeable about some things than I am. With AOC and her statement of she would like to disband the Constitution, part of her oath involves upholding the Constitution. If she is going to dismantle the Constitution, isn't that against the law? And if so,
Well,
why
unless
is
you
she
did
not
it
doing
constitutionally.
Well, here it is. If she's going to do that, then any citizen of this United States technically should be able to walk up to her and arrest her for treason.
I think that's the case, isn't it? What we have is they have normalized insurgency inside our republic, and until the forces that be acknowledge it and treat it as treason and as sedition at the very least, which are both punishable by death, I'm telling you, we have an insurgent network within our own system.
Yes, we do. And I tell you what, if that does not scare people enough to get off their butts and at least attempt to vote for the right people who will follow the Constitution and do the right thing for this country, we will lose this country.
Concur.
And
Yeah,
those in the Democratic side are working really hard at destroying it.
What I think is interesting is listening to you talk with your passion about it. And the problem is it's a multifaceted front. We have illegals that have been dumped into the system to dilute the system, get them to support the Democratic Party. We have fronts going on with the attacks upon our national security apparatus by insurgents that are inside here, these Antifa and other people. It is a multicultural, full spectrum attack against the system and in the educational system. It goes on and on and on. And you're right. Until Joe Sixpack, you and me, Thunder, and Joey, to say enough is enough, I'm afraid that we can't depend on our elected officials to protect
You
us.
called me a Joe Sixpack? Thanks, man.
You are. Look, you got them glasses on. Where's your Piggly Wiggly hat at?
It's probably over. It's
You're
over there in the
there
corner.
it is, the pig.
Yeah.
Well, Thunder, what do you think? What do you think, Thunder? What's the answer here? What do we got to do?
You're exactly correct. You're exactly correct. You look at the number of illegal invaders here, and people need to start recognizing them for what they are. They are not illegal immigrants. They have no intention of immigrating. They're illegal invaders. They are here to invade, period. They do not want to assimilate. They do not necessarily want to become Americans. Henceforth, they keep their flags, they keep their language, they keep their society, they keep their historical mindset of how they want to destroy this country. Therefore, they're illegal invaders. We have those in Washington, such as AOC, such as Nancy Pelosi, such as Bernie Sanders, who have looked at Congress as being nothing but their personal piggy bank, and they're going to do what they can to collect as much as possible and destroy as much as possible. They have no intentions of caring about the Americans that have taken care of this country for decades. And until enough Americans finally recognize that fact and say, enough, January the 6th of 2021 was the impetus that the Democrats wanted to use to say they'll never do it again. I would not count on that, Democrats, because we have had, it is right at that cusp, I think, that a lot of Americans have finally had enough. And people like AOC and Mamdani, Hochul, and I'm trying to remember the name of that idiot in Maine, you got to be kidding me. How many Americans have died to make this country what it is today? And you people are going to support the very group of people who would like to destroy it? Really?
Yeah.
Well,
don't even talk to me if you're going to vote Democrat, because you really do not want it to hear for, but I will give you.
Well, Thunder, always bringing the thunder. I got to run. I'm running out of time here. Thank you.
guys.
Bye.
Keep up the good
Yeah,
work.
thank you.
She does not back off.
No, she's serious about. Listen,
She's been. I remember her calling back in 2012.
She brings the thunder and the
She
lightning.
hadn't cooled down at all. Like more than a decade, she's been throwing bombs.
She cares.
Go to James. Hey, James.
Hey, Joey. Mine's a little more lighthearted.
Okay.
My watch for the talking watch that the blind people use to get the time and everything, the battery is out. And I've tried, my son has carried it over the years to about 4 or 5 different jewelers, and I always end up having to get another watch. But so I heard that the Dillons was so accurate in making your, the prize that you had made for, they made for you, that he might be actually able to fit a battery that would suffix and do the job in the talking watch. So I was wondering, would they be there? Are they back in town?
Yeah, they'll be there tomorrow for sure.
Okay. And as I described to my son where to go up Atlanta Highway from going east, What road will he turn onto?
Brown Springs Road. It's like you're going into AUM, the back entrance AUM off Atlanta Highway, but kind of where the old fun zone used to be. It's a little shopping center right there to the left once you make that right.
Okay. You may say, thank you so much. You may have a string of blind people walking Atlanta highways in order to get their watches because they have to throw them away, you know?
Terrible.
Well, I hope it works out because I know Josh loves helping folks.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, James. 272-9228. Trump continuing to speak in Battleground, Michigan. Where's your father? Where's Mike? I just met your father. Do you want to come up? Come up here. Come here. Your father is so proud of you. He had more medals than anybody I've ever seen. He is saying, my son is so good, sir. He is doing good. Navy veteran Amir Hassan, a congressional candidate. We have to get elected. He's good. Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you, Amir. And Amir comes from a great General Motors family, a long line of General Motors and former congressmen. So here's a man who's running for the Senate. I happen to think he won last time, okay? I love it. Anyway, just reading the closed captioning is way too much fun. Anyway, we got to hit this break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
We're talking with Dr. Clark McLemore at McLemore Dentistry, and this is where I went a few years ago to get my smile reworked. Dr. McLemore, you have a great offer for our listeners.
We've got all of our design and manufacturing in-house. So what that means is if you come to us, we have the entire process under our control, providing top quality prosthetics and restorations. And that really impacts our patients' smiles, and it makes us feel a lot better that we're doing the absolute best we can for folks.
Visit drmclemordentistry.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Here are several ways to attract more buyers to your home. First, price it right to sell, not to sit. An accurate market analysis will tell you what price it should be. Next, prepare the home to show and sell by deep cleaning by a professional cleaner, including carpet. Declutter all rooms, including closets. Evaluate flooring, replace if needed. Paint inside and out where needed, and make the kitchen and bath sparkle. How about the exterior? Are the colors faded on the shutters or fascia? Power washing them and all sidewalks and driveways and patios prior to listing the house. Remember, your price and curb appeal will create a showing appointment. Your condition of the house will make them stay and look longer and buy quicker. For all the steps you need to take to get your house ready for sale, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 334-221-2883 or 334-551-0225.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I think I just got to, especially when you're here, wear a shade all the time. It's fitting.
You need to get the blue filter ones. They work good. They keep these fluorescent lights in here in our beautiful plush space.
No, I just threw them on for fun, and then I realized, oh, that's actually much nicer.
That's what I'm saying.
With these fluorescents in here. Before I forget, this part of the program brought to you by Prattville Carpet. And, of course, they have carpet there, Prattville Carpet. But any sort of flooring resurface job, They have the materials to do it. They have the expertise to do it. They can get the job done well. Just call them up at 285-8117. They'll come out and do a free in-home measurement. So maybe you're just putting down new carpet in the bedroom, and that fresh carpet you grab with your toes and stuff, like when you wake up in the morning, or the opening, one of the early scenes in Die Hard, where he's grinding his feet into, later that becomes important when the glass breaks. But of course, they can also do things like ceramic tile for the bathroom or the kitchen. Or maybe you're looking for traditional hardwood or perhaps luxury vinyl plank, whatever it is. They can help you.
Epoxy.
Oh, yeah.
Easy to clean.
So again, that's 285-8117. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Troy, the fellas on the radio, sent you that Ray was too busy to join us on the radio. But you still want their help nonetheless. So did we learn anything today?
Well, we didn't cover the Iran matter. My take on that is that there has been a strategic pause, which they started requesting negotiations because of the damage that was being done. But more likely, it's a good cop, bad cop. The IRGC is going to continue their shenanigans while there's an idea of a possible outcome. But the only outcome is inevitable, in my opinion. It's the capitulation of the IRGC.
Yeah, and if they can't pay their own workers and troops and stuff,
They got problems then.
You might find that people aren't really all that ideologically motivated.
That's
They're
important.
religiously motivated.
Are you willing to die for free?
I'd like to eat. I'd like to eat. That would be good.
That would be good.
We learned that a mayor was named Crime Stopper of the Year in Alabama, and it wasn't Montgomery's mayor.
No, it was not.
Birmingham's mayor. Never thought I'd say this, but I'd vote for Randall Woodfin over Stephen Reed.
Absolutely.
Just results, baby.
The results, man. Yep.
We also learned a little more about data centers and how localities need to protect themselves, and we need to put them in responsible spots, maybe with the federal government taking the lead.
We learned that Beta Theta Pi is the singing fraternity of the fraternity world. Mm-hmm. And don't paddle people too hard.
And we also learned that more people probably need to go to church.
Yes, they do.
But, we learn that every day.
Oh, my goodness. Look at you.
Don't look at me when you say that.
Yeah,
I didn't look at you at all. I have no eyes.
By the grace of God, he is with us.
How are you, Greg?
So there you go, brother.
Good, sir.
Good.
Amen. Well, you want to get out of here?
I think I definitely
took Lindsey Graham out.
What happened, what you just went through, the procedure you did, was what took Lindsey Graham out.
He didn't have the procedure, and he's no longer with us.
Wow.
Same thing.
Aortic thing.
Yep.
My goodness. God bless, man. That's
It
good.
breaks. You're done.
Well, I love you, Greg.
I love you too.
On that beautiful note, we got to get out of here.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington.